How do you spell your name? Hodgman. Ugh.
Hodgman.
Got it. Yep.
Hodgman. And we're live.
Wow. Okay.
And we're live.
Wait, did you tweet about it?
Hang on, I'm here. Hang on. Are you hearing all that other audio?
Nope. I just hear you. I think it sounds really good.
There we go. All right. I muted all that other audio.
Okay.
I was hearing background audio from the world. My name is John Hodgman. Oh, I haven't muted it. That's me. That's me on YouTube, David. We are broadcasting live.
Oh, I see. It's across. Is it across multiple platforms?
We are broadcasting across multiple platforms.
All right, let me see. Let me check in on all these.
It's me and David Rees. It's our Dicktown Season 2 watch along, a once every 2-year event. We are broadcasting to Twitch. Hey, everybody on Twitch. It's us. We're broadcasting to you. We are broadcasting to the Judge John Hodgman page on Facebook. Hey, everybody on Facebook and the Judge John Hodgman group. We're broadcasting to you. Can't I see you there? There are 22 people watching there. And there's live closed captioning on Facebook. Nice. We're broadcasting live to Twitter. Hey, everybody on Twitter, we are broadcasting to you. I don't see where that's happening, but I trust that it is happening.
I'm sorry, John. When I go to twitch.tv/John Hodgman, it says you're offline. Is that correct? Should you be offline?
No, it should be online. What's happening?
Oh. It says you're offline.
Says
Let me hit refresh.
No, I already refreshed it.
It says offline. John Hodgman is offline.
Let's see where. Oh yeah, there we go. Save changes.
All
right, now I see a check mark on Twitch, and I'm going to go to Twitter as well. And now I see a check mark on Twitter. Troy.
Okay, here we go.
Anna. Bill.
Okay, I'm closing this now because I'm getting echoes. Okay, that was cool.
You're getting those echoes. I see us on Facebook.
Space echo.
Do I see us live? I think I see us live on Twitter. I'm going to like that. 0 viewers on Twitter. And do I see us live on Twitch? I'm going to refresh.
I don't know about this light.
I am going to start watching because it is a mature audience. I see us live on Twitter. Mute that. On Twitch, I mean. Fantastic. Han Charuk says, hello, John. Hello, David. Hello, chat. The chats the chatter is getting feisty over there on Twitch. I should be able to, if I go back over here to StreamYard, yes, I can see everybody. I can see everybody coming alive on Twitch, on Facebook. Maybe not on Twitter, I don't believe.
Oh, I see this. I had the wrong.
Yeah, stay in the StreamYard chat. That's what we're using to broadcast. 59 people have joined us. I'm going to say in a few minutes we'll get started here.
You have to give people a couple minutes.
Yeah, everyone should get settled. Get your popcorn.
How can I? How can I chat? Am I not allowed to chat?
You should be allowed to chat. You have all of the privileges of an administrator.
You do?
Yeah. If you look down.
All right, give me one.
Llama, you're awake. It's late for Llama over there in the ding. I'm going to throw a little chat in. Are you a member of I don't know. Hey, everyone. This is my chat. Hey, everyone. It's
private chat. Comments. I don't think I can leave a comment.
Town along. Chat.
So all I have access to is private chat.
Okay. Oh, I see you over there in private chat.
See?
Test of the chat feature. Private chat feature. Well, that's okay. If you've got anything you want to say to the chat, you can just say it right to their faces. We got Aegis version 2 from Durham.
They can see and hear me. I totally forgot that. Well, I would just like to say hi to everybody and Seeing some familiar names in the chat. Thanks for joining us. I wish I could just type chat rather than voice chat, but I don't seem to be able to do that.
Look, David, you're not here to lurk in the chat. You're here to present your memories, your recollections,
Okay.
your secrets,
Okay.
everything that went downtown in Dicktown, North Carolina, USA.
Yep.
As you and I, the co-creators of the show that we called Dicktown, rewatch all of season 2 in real time.
Why do you look so nice and warm and I look so blue? It's because my computer monitor is.
Your computer monitor is blue and you have no other light source.
Look at that. How's that? That's better.
That's a lot better.
This is a nice image, right?
Hey, Brian Spinks is in the chat.
Really?
Yep. Doggerel is.
Oh, look at that.
Name.
Does this look normal? Does this look nice? You can see the veins, but it does make me. It looks warmer, right? Except for
your arm looks like one of the aliens in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
It's my hand.
And frozen. Yeah.
But a little bit, it looks like a bottom of a foot.
That's just your hand.
Yeah, isn't that wild? Look.
Yeah. I don't know that we want to have
a little bit like a foot
screenshotting the two of us raising our arms in that way.
All right.
A little gross.
I'll just be a little blue. So I mean, I'm sorry that
No,
I'm sorry I didn't think more about the lighting. I apologize.
No, you're living your life. I'm here at Hodgman Rees headquarters, where you and I have been working on a secret project that is not Dicktown season 3 for a while, up here in Brooklyn. This is where the magic of Judge John Hodgman is. The spells are cast. And David, oh boy, now it's getting real dope smoker down there. Real heavy metal. Can you hear me even?
What?
Okay. And David is, oh wow, okay.
Fun. We're gonna have fun tonight.
David is broadcasting from a little town called Hellmouth, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Where you are staying with your mom and dad. Is it okay for me to say it? Well, I just did.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm visiting my parents. I'm living the David Purefoy lifestyle. And but I lost part of my these earbuds are falling apart. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, let's get to it. Let's do it.
Why don't you just circuit bend some new earbuds, dude?
I ordered some and I was hoping they would arrive today, but they haven't arrived yet.
Well,
but I do really like how this looks. I think this looks very cool. You represent like the light side, and I represent kind of like the darker side of.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like this is very heavy and spiritual. I'm into it.
That's pretty common. That's accurate to our characters' demeanors in the television show called Dicktown.
Yep.
You are the dark tempter to the bad boy bully lifestyle, and I'm the good boy nerd who is trying to figure out how to be a whole human being. And we're going to watch it. David, you want to explain? Oh, Lama says my mic on. Let me check.
Earbuds suck. I hate technology so much.
My mic is on, Lama, but I'll turn it up.
Okay.
Check. How does that sound?
So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to watch it on Hulu. We're going to use the Hulu that has commercials in it. So it's not the premium Hulu. It's like the basic Hulu. And we'll just chit-chat through the commercials. Maybe that'll give people a chance to get water and stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to coordinate. We're all going to count down, and then we're all going to press play on our Hulus at the same time. And then hopefully we'll all more or less be in sync. And then Hodgman and I will discuss some of the fun behind-the-scenes stories about what you're seeing as you watch each of these 10 episodes of season 2. So are we ready to get started?
I think we should go ahead and get started. Hang on, I have to check with Llama. Llama, do I sound better now? I'm definitely using this microphone. Look. Am I reaching you over there in Reading, England? Am I upsetting your bird? Caw-caw, caw-caw. How about everyone else? Is Llama the only one who can't? You can hear me, right, David?
I think I look tough. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I
think I look very cool and tough right now.
Turn myself up even higher. It's probably even worse. Caw, caw. Check, check. No, now I'm peeking. I'm not beaking, I'm peeking. Caw. Hi, Lead Light. Okay, a lot of Get Your Pets fans here. Nice to see you again. We'll probably do Get Your Pets here one of these days. But in the meantime, let's watch some Dicktown.
Okay, so here's what you do. Go to your Hulu tab, and it should be at 00. If it's about to start, back it up. What I'm seeing right now is black screen. This is season 2, episode 1. It says The Mystery of the Missing Pimento Cheese.
Right.
And what we'll do is we'll count down. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And then we're all going to play. All right?
Okay. So let's just say go to bit.ly/Dicktown. Sign into your Hulu account. It doesn't matter to me whether you have premium Hulu without ads, but we're going to be watching with ads.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll let you know when the ads come if you want to pause it. It's not critical that you stay in sync with us. There are two things that are critical. One is that we don't show any of the video or release any of the audio over this stream, because then we will be shut down.
Right.
2, David and I are going to stay in sync because this is essentially going to be a director's commentary, which maybe will be available later for you to enjoy or destroy, if that's your thing.
All right. So everybody ready?
I'm ready.
It's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And here we go. I'm doing it now.
I'm
5,
ready.
4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Let's play.
So I'm seeing a warning about language and violence. I hope everyone else is too.
I'm seeing an ad.
Oh, well, I'm seeing a logo that says FX Fearless.
Oh, no. Well, we're already.
So it's already in chaos. Now I'm seeing the new theme song, the 80s montage opening that Hodgman wanted to do.
I'm watching an ad right now for The Mystery of Missing. No, I'm watching an ad for a Ben.
All right, I'm gonna pause it.
All right, you pause it. Deep.
Oh my lord.
Premieres.
I'm already in a jumping Ferrari running through the air. You're still watching an ad? Come on now.
Okay, now I'm seeing a language and violence. Violence, really? Rated MA for language and violence?
Okay, if you're at language and violence, I'm going to catch up.
Okay, now, hang on.
Now I'm seeing FX Fearless.
Now I see you and me in a building.
Okay. This was John's idea. 80s fantasy opening montage.
Are you rolling now? Because I'm paused.
Oh, I started.
Where are you? Tell me where you are. Stop and tell me what you see. So I can catch up, please. Pause.
I'm seeing the car is about to go off the ramp. I'll tell you what, my cursor is at 24 seconds.
All right, I can get there.
24 seconds, everybody.
17 seconds, 20 seconds. I'm at 25. I think that's as close as I'm going to get.
Okay. We're going to count down 3, 2, 1, play. Ready, John?
Yeah, ready.
3, 2, 1, play. Car jumps over the ramp.
Over the ramp.
Title, sick montage license plate. Okay.
When they come around. All right. There's David Purifoy. Go ahead, talk.
The deal was that John wanted to do this 80s montage, and the production company found this rock and roll music in the music library that we use. And once we had heard the music, I kind of thought it should have lyrics. And so I wrote some dumb 80s style lyrics and then recorded a demo of me singing it. And then we tried to find an 80s legend who would be willing to sing it. And we thought, oh, Weird Al is kind of like an 80s legend. I bet he would sing it. And sure enough, he did. So that's how we got Weird Al.
A legend of the 80s, 90s, and today, just like a classic rock radio station.
Yeah, exactly. So Weird Al sang the song and was terrific. And we did like 100 takes. We directed him over Zoom and he kept doing it over and over again. And then he even agreed to sing the entire song an octave up so that we could double the vocals. And he was the best, man. It was really cool.
Speaking of the best, this is Angel Desai sing, local Dicktown broadcasting legend. And that's someone you went to Oberlin College with, correct?
Yeah, I went to this very prestigious liberal arts college in Ohio with Angel called Oberlin College. Oh, I found my little rubber earbud. It was in my ear the whole time.
Oh my God, David.
Okay.
I don't want to.
It's like when your glasses are on your head. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's just like one of those funny, relatable things.
But was in your ear the whole time. It could have been there forever.
That's incredible.
Did you see the guy on Reddit who pulled the airsoft BB out of his ear after 25 years?
Oh, I can't watch stuff like that.
That's you.
And we have John Glazer here as our Mark Tagliano, nicknamed Taggy, the lawyer who they've hired to help them get adult clients.
Here comes Donnie.
And there's a little UNC jersey on Taggy's wall because even though this doesn't officially take place in Chapel Hill, it's kind of like Chapel Hill adjacent. So if there's ever basketball or sports jerseys, they're always Carolina blue, as if Richardsville, North Carolina is like Chapel Hill is like the sports center of gravity for
sports.
these
I just
guys.
want to point out the robot that's in the frame here. That's based on the toy that I had when I was a kid.
Yeah, but I want to talk about these jerseys. So the reason that this is really relevant is because UNC just had an unexpectedly heroic run in the NC men's.
They beat their rivals, Duke University, and I watched it happen.
That's right, in the Final Four.
Sports for you.
Thank you, John. Now we're at the Lunch Hut, and this is kind of based on Sutton's Drugstore, which is an old Chapel Hill institution, which is like a diner slash postcard store on Franklin Street. So that was kind of the inspiration for Mr. Moisley's Lunch Hut, along with a restaurant that we went to in Florida that had been part of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
When David and I were working out the plot line of season 1, we were on a road trip through Florida, and we were driving through Clearwater, checking out the Scientology Center. And on our way to Clearwater, we stopped at a diner that was an inspiration for the Lunch Hut. Now we're in John's Mind Palace, which is a reference.
Oh, now you're in your Mind Palace.
Yeah. It's a reference to a lot of different memory palaces and mind palaces in detective TV shows in the past. And also it's a reference to the house the Beatles lived in Yellow Submarine. At the beginning of Yellow Submarine, they all live in this mansion that's full of a million different rooms. David wanted me to talk like this in my Mind Palace.
Oh, yeah, this was one of the big arguments that we had in this season. You didn't think it was funny, but when you talk in that deep voice, I think it's really funny. And I think everyone in the chat would agree with me that was very smart of me. Yes, friends?
Ivory Robot, it wasn't the beginning of Help. It was the beginning of Yellow Submarine, the animated film. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know how. Maybe I improv now I'm going into my Mind Palace. And you laughed so hard in the studio, and I said,
I thought it was really funny. I think Silly Voices is like,
I was never gonna get away from it. And you
really funny
for you for the rest of the show.
I like it when people talk in silly voices. Now we're coming up on the big funny thing that Floyd County did, which is right there. Boom.
Well,
faceplant, pimento cheese faceplant, incredible.
It looks a lot like vomit, but it really is pimento cheese.
Yeah. So what's happening here, if you've never seen this show, is that Dana Singh is doing like a news magazine profile on John and David as these kind of like stunted men who are trying to grow up. And we had this idea for Operation Grow Up. And this is me living in my parents' basement with this poster I had them design from season 1 that says, "Those who can't won't understand." That's like his weightlifting poster.
And here's the cover of Marjorie Frost's book, Unleashing the Pterodactyl Within.
Yeah.
What you want and flying away with it, which was your joke and still one of the funniest.
Well, the pterodactyl thing, I mean, we kind of reconfigured the whole Marjorie Frost storyline just because I wanted everyone to talk in a shrieking voice for some reason. And then because I think we had a whole different backstory or philosophy for her. And I think I was just like, well, what if she just wants everyone to be pterodactyls? Then we can all screech and do funny voices. Again, I'm like really into funny voices.
I remember the day you came in and said, I had this idea that all of Marjorie Frost's acolytes should talk like this.
Yeah, screeching
again, voices. I was just like, I don't understand it, but let's go with it. And it became just truly one of the most inspired parts of the show.
Here we have Stephen Tobolowsky playing your dad.
Returning triumphantly as Mr. Hunchman.
Based on my friend John Kimball's dad. Yep. Here's John on his houseboat saying that he's had many human girlfriends.
And here's Obehi Janice returning as Heather Culbreth, who was John's unrequited love interest throughout John Hunchman throughout his life, and particularly in the last season.
Culbreth was the name of my junior high school. That's where that last name comes from.
Heather is a pretty common name.
Yeah.
Obehi Janice is an incredible talent and a writer as well. She wrote on the 2nd or 3rd season of Castle Rock.
And here's Ronald. This was John's idea to have him dressed up as some bat. What is this from? Looks like a bat from a.
So this is Ronald Pete portraying Tucker, and we had the idea that he would drop in upside down, and then to make it weird, I suggested that he dress like a bat from the famous French silent movie Les Vampires.
Okay.
There's Irma Vep is the character who dresses as a bat in that movie. I don't remember the actor who played Irma Vep, but that's. And here we start layering in our big season-long mystery where we flash back briefly to young John Hunchman holding up the Golden Lungs trophy that had gone missing 20 years ago.
The Tobacco Club trophy. I realize there's like a lot of tobacco jokes in this season. I guess we're talking about the past, and like that was obviously a big part of the past of North Carolina, tobacco production and stuff, and fields of tobacco out in the country. But it's a good way to talk about so-called cancel culture and reckoning with your past and stuff. I guess that's why we did it.
Yeah, and in season 1, you had suggested that the high school team be named the Junior Tobacconeers.
Oh, right, that's where it started.
And also we were trying to think of the appropriate mascot for the Junior Tobacconeers. And I think it was you, but I don't. Anyway, the idea of a smoking baby.
Oh,
so
right.
if you go back to season 1, episode 2, you'll see smoking baby in the
There's little banners in the background and stuff.
So that was an idea that we really leaned into on this season, as you will see.
Yeah. Walkie-talkies. This is our executive producer Matt Thompson playing this no good dishwasher who gets on everyone's last nerves.
Bon Appetit does play rough, I can say that for sure.
And this is more funny voices. I think in this, I have it muted so I can hear you, John, but in this moment, I think I'm doing kind of a funny, deep voice. So that's good.
You're doing like a fancy foodie
we should have a funny voice count.
This is my imitation of you, prepared in the fancy manner.
Yeah.
And chocolate-covered raisins, but the raisins are very fancy diamonds.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember we got to record all of our lines together in a room in New York. And I remember when you were doing this, and I was laughing so hard. I had to be quiet.
Yeah, we were lucky that I was able to travel during COVID dips for us to do our lines together. And to record a lot of the actors live once I was in town. We recorded in Manhattan, kind of near this new Harry Potter store that's really... we walk by the Harry Potter store every morning on the way to their studio, and there'd be like lines around the block and buying like sweatshirts and stuff, I think. Just
replying to Meredith Whipple in the chat, we can't do a screen and screen. We can't show you the video.
Oh, right. I think that's illegal, right?
That would be illegal. So
episode number and timestamp.
We'll time it out.
Episode 1, and we are at 9:48.
Yeah, we're about to see that Polaris slingshot. I just saw a Polaris slingshot in Savannah, Georgia this weekend, David. I took a picture of it, but I forgot to send it to you. Once you start looking for them, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And that was something that we wanted a figure from the past to show up, Cape Fear style, and swear revenge.
I think that was your idea, yeah.
But it was based on a person that you went to high school with. Lucy.
This character is based on someone I went to high school with, yeah.
And in your past, it was a dude who smoked his own tobacco. But I mean, he dried his own tobacco leaves and made his own cigarettes.
Yeah, yeah. He kind of had a rough life.
Commanding this dream to come true.
One thing I don't like about my character design is how baggy my socks are. I wish my socks were a little... I mean, I think it is funny and it suits the character, but whenever I see those baggy socks, like wearing baggy socks drives me crazy. It's like the worst feeling.
They feel very Hanna-Barbera Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's probably like a Shaggy influence. Yeah.
And here comes, well, it's not a spoiler at this point, but that's Amy Sedaris is
North Carolina native Amy Sedaris.
The mystery person, the mystery Polaris driver, Madam Slingshot, aka Motorcycle Car Lady, dropping
all the bees.
A jar of bees into our car your car, David, for
my car, yeah. Reason. Yeah, this is the dumbest thing. I don't know why we did this. This is so dumb.
It was just so dumb. We had to do it. If you hate it, it's done. And that's the end.
Now I'm seeing the credits. These are all
the credits, right?
Troy collaborators
played Doug Moisley.
Yep.
All right.
Troy has no social media presence. I admire that about him. So now I'm showing the next episode is coming. What do? We just keep rolling?
No, let's pause it for a second.
Oh,
so I can just have a drink of refreshing water here. We can get everyone up to speed.
With the way these modern cable channels just like roll from one episode into another, can get out of control here.
One of the things that I'm very excited about, David, is that we did a watch along for season 1 on a Saturday morning in December 2020. after the show had come out, and it was a lot of fun. We did it on a different social media platform. It was a little clunky. We did go ahead and show the episodes. I think I pointed my camera at the screen.
Oh, right.
And we had a number of special guests, guests from the cast and so on. And David, you don't even know this, but I have a very special guest from the cast that is here now that I'd like to
seriously
bring with. Yeah, if you don't mind.
Do it. No,
Right.
I'm excited.
It's 2XL.
Oh, look at this! A little nerd humor here. How'd you do that? How are you doing that?
I have to mute myself here.
Oops.
That's really wild. Oh, because you have your.
Yeah,
I get it.
Hang on a second. We'll come back.
Take it again, man. Take it again. Take it again. I can act surprised again.
Well, I don't know if I can do it.
That was awesome.
The problem is I have to paste and go. That's me. I'm a paste and go kind of kid.
People are really talking about these socks. I wish yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about. These socks, right?
Yeah. Talk to the.
Oh, I went to South Point with my dad last week when we were getting the Subaru serviced. We had some time to kill, and we had them drop us off at South Point. They had this bin 80% off on socks. These are like really nice socks, like the kind of socks that cost like $18 a pair. For 80 $1. Hold on, let me see if I can find them. They're really crazy. Hold on, just give me a sec.
While David is going to look for his socks, I am now live with 2XL. I could have muted him right from here, but the problem was that my voice was going into the camera. We'll wait for David to come back. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. If you're just joining us now, this is a Dicktown Season 2 watch-along with co-creators, co-stars, me, John Hodgman, and Mr. David Rees, who's going to get his 80% off socks to show them to us. And we're going to have a special guest with 2XL, but I don't want to get 2XL going till he's back. David, did you get your socks? Can you hear me? Oh, you can't hear me. David, did you get your cuckoo socks?
Yeah, it's perfect because you're talking about your little robot friend. Look at these socks. These socks say processing on them like they're a computer. Like, what is this? This is like hip.
Sweet
processing
off socks, I have to say.
Processing. Must be for computer programmers or something.
That's right. Okay, that's fantastic.
Whew. Anyway, and you have your little computer friend there. Who's this, John?
This is 2XL. So 2XL was a very, very exciting toy in the year 1978-79. Hit the scene Christmas of 1978 from Mego. I don't remember the inventor's name.
The guy who did the voice and it's like, hey, it's me, 2XL. How you doing?
Yeah, you're going to hear his voice in a second. I got to find the inventor's name. Michael J. Freeman. And Michael J. Freeman is an American inventor. He's still alive. He's probably 74 or 75 now. And he created this hot toy. This robot would ask trivia questions that were recorded in a robot voice on an 8-track cassette tape. And then depending on how you answered by pressing the buttons in his stomach, you either get them right or wrong, and it would move the track over. So he would say, you're right, you're very smart, or you're wrong, you are bad for it.
That's incredible, because that's analog, that's interactive analog technology, right?
Yeah.
If it's an 8-track, like, that's really cool.
Yeah, and the inventor recorded the voice himself, and he's got a very distinctive Long Island accent, and the whole thing is pitched up, and he's doing a robot voice. And one of the things that, just to get it out of the way, when he says in robot voice question, he says question. Let me see if I can get him going for you and can just hear.
Fire it up.
When I tried this once before, when I unboxed it, I bought it on eBay, kind of by accident. I bid on it and forgot, and then it showed up at my door, and I didn't realize that I had won the auction. And when I opened it up, I didn't think it would work. It didn't work at first, then it worked. This afternoon, I tried it. It didn't work. And then right before this, I tried it again, and it worked. Let's see what happens.
I'm tired now, so here is your last question. Who is the smartest toy robot in the world? I will give you three choices. Is your answer A, 2XL, B, 2XL, or C, 2XL? Please answer A, B, or C now. You must admit, this is a difficult question to get wrong. You answered A, and you are correct. You are correct, and I thank you very much for the compliment.
Wow.
Here are some other world records that you may find interesting.
This is from the Guinness Book of World Records 8-track.
Records.
The totem pole in the world is 173 feet tall and was built in 1973 in Canada. The smallest airplane in the world was built by a man named Rees in California in 1952. It was 9 feet 10 inches long and weighed 452 pounds.
The way he decides to sound like a robot is like really interesting.
In the world is in Hershey, Pennsylvania. These are the same people that make Hershey bars. The biggest salami was 11 feet long, 20 inches around, and weighed 142 and 1/2 pounds.
The biggest salami.
One could get by eating that.
All right.
All right, that's enough. This is the end of his program.
Remember, the next time you play this program, push different answers, and I am more likely to ask you different questions.
All right.
Please turn me off now.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much. That's 2XL. We might hear from 2XL again in the future.
Can it also just function as an 8-track player?
Yeah, I got some cool tunes. They sent the person I bought it from on eBay sent me this Book of World Records tape program that I had when I was a kid, and I remember a lot of it. That's where I heard about Robert Earl Hughes, the largest, not tallest, but largest, heaviest man who ever lived at that time. This is Fairy Tale Quiz.
Oh.
Some sweet illustrations there. Monsters, Myths, and Legends. And it's described as...
And it's all the same guy doing the voice?
All the same guy doing the voice. On the trail of Bigfoot, Dracula, and Frankenstein.
Oh, man, that's your sweet spot right there.
Monsters of all time.
2XL descriptive zoology.
This one I couldn't get to work the other day, and I'm sad about it. 50s and 60s nostalgia. And then they also put along this Ronco compilation cassette, like as seen on TV, Star Time.
Good, so I'll have good music.
This has the Little River Band, Instant Funk, Sylvester, Blondie, Sister Sledge, and a band that I'm sure you remember very fondly, England Dan and Don Ford Coley. Remember that band? We might hear more from 2XL later, but it was really fun to get 2XL into the show. 2XL made a very small cameo appearance in season 1, and was sitting on John Hunchman's bureau in his houseboat. And then we decided, it's not even we decided, I insisted that he come back. And for some reason, Taggy has got a hold of 2XL and believes that 2XL is a real robot. And that's what happens. All right. Fuzzcat points out, I was tripping balls on shrooms and ran into a 2XL at a pizza joint in Vegas. This is giving me the most bizarre feels. I can imagine it. Thrill House asked John, well, first of all, my name's spelled John. How much did I pay for it? That's none of your business. Not too much. Yeah, if you have any other questions, put them in the chat, and we'll answer them as soon as we can. But let's go on to the next episode, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
You're looking very spooky. That looks good. This is
good stuff.
Now I'm watching it. I just launched it, and I'm watching a 30-second ad.
You are?
Yeah, what are you seeing?
I just started it. Oh, it's an ad for Woke.
This is an ad for the Elle Fanning show about the girl who encouraged her boyfriend to take his life.
We're seeing different ads.
My ad's almost over in 1 second, but there were no ads in the episode, right? So the whole...
Yeah, I guess it's just a pre-roll.
All right, now I'm at the TV Mature. I've paused at TV Mature rating.
Okay, go. Unpause. I just hit it.
Okay.
This is episode 2, The Mystery of Mammal Island. John, this was your baby. You should take the lead on this analysis.
Yeah, I mean, David
Although
and I-
that's my joke, and I do want to take credit
Les
for
Mozzarella.
Les Mozzarella,
Yeah.
the French-Italian restaurant. So dumb.
And this one is mature for language and sexual situations. Thank you.
Sexual situations.
This is Kristen Shaw presenting a sexual situation, which is to say flirting. And this is the only
Right.
sexual situation I can imagine in this episode. When we come back, we should note that they're eating pasta and croissants because this is a French-Italian restaurant. Les Mozzarella.
That was the kind of joke that the animators did. We hadn't written that joke; they just came up with it, I think.
Oh, really? I thought you had.
Oh, maybe we did write it actually. Yeah,
And of
maybe
course,
we
this
did.
is also the same virtual set and supposed to be the same space as the President's
Physician, yeah.
which was the restaurant at the end of season 1 that had belonged to Paul F. Tompkins and Janie Haddad Tompkins characters, Loafer Toenknuckle and Emma Bowers.
Yep.
And Hunchman and Purefoy got that shut down for health violations.
Yep.
This is some sexy music we found in the music library.
I love going through the music library. That's like so fun, trying to find the perfect music. You search by mood and instrumentation and era, and they just have like a million instrumental tracks, and it's so cool.
Mhm.
Oh, I love it.
This scene was an original composition by J.G. Thirlwell. The doom, doom, ding, 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 ding. J.G. Thirlwell wrote a lot of original music for the first season that we used in season 2. Jonathan Colton scored one episode that we have coming up. And here comes 2XL again, or Gizmo as we call him.
Oh yeah, legally you couldn't call him 2XL, right?
Right.
You have to be
Right.
careful
Probably
with stuff
I
like
can't even
that.
show him the stream, but come at me, Migo.
And this is you wanted this house to look like the house from Parasite, the famous
Yeah.
movie, right?
This is both an homage to Animal Crossing and a critique of capitalism, which arguably Animal Crossing is not a critique of capitalism, but a wild embrace of capitalism, which took me by surprise when I played it. That's Manolo Moreno and Joe Firestone, the co-hosts of Dr. Game Show on Maximum Fun, and incredible comedians as well. And they had such a vibe together.
And we recorded them in New York.
We recorded.
They
them
came into the studio when I was in town.
That's right.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's me as an axolotl. You're a skunk. David's avatar in the Animal Crossing pastiche is a skunk, and I am an axolotl, a pale, lonely creature that lives in darkened lakes.
These animals are cute. I've never played Animal Crossing, but people say this is like pretty good representation of the aesthetic.
Well, yeah,
or the vibe, right?
you
Like,
have heard of there was a huge explosion on the stock market in Animal Crossing, where people would grow turnips and sell them, and wait until there was a day that you could sell the turnips, and there are different people you could sell the turnips to, and if you sold them, you could make a real profit. And then there was a money laundering scheme for transforming Animal Crossing money into real money. It was a wild situation.
is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, that was like an early COVID phenomenon, right?
Yeah, they released it a little bit before COVID, and it became a way that people connected and passed the time during COVID. And we had a Judge John Hodgman episode between two romantic partners who had a fight over their Animal Crossing worlds that one was not sharing with the other.
Oh, and yeah, I never played it. You played on your phone or on your computer?
It's a Nintendo Switch game. So you play it on it's a console.
You have to have the video game system.
Yeah.
Got it.
And in reality, in Animal Crossing, you can go into other people's houses because it is a multiplayer game. But there are security systems that keep you from stealing their stuff and their turnips. But then they did introduce, as they did in Mammal Island, they introduced the hang gliders, which allowed people to fly over walls. In Animal Crossing, they introduced a new feature where you could go swimming, and people figured out pretty quickly you could swim to people's property from the shoreline and go in and take their stuff.
Oh,
But this is the true crime of Animal Crossing, which is that you think you're playing a fun game and then you get a huge bill that you have
right.
to pay back to. In
Yeah.
the game, it's Tom Nook, who's a Japanese tanuki dog. And this, in our world, is Paul Platypus.
This is our critique of predatory capitalism. They tricked David into
Every robot
falling
points
into
out it's a chore simulator, and that is what it is.
Shore simulator. Yeah.
Meredith suggests that David, you should play in order to get all the
So I can understand this episode and
I
see what the
don't-
fuss is
I
about.
don't think you need to. Oh, hey, this is Annie Otter, who is played by Annie Savage, one of the original Work Juice players at the Thrilling Adventure Hour troupe. It was a real
Worthless
thrill
degree.
to get. It was a real thrill to be able to work again with some of my Thrilling Adventure Hour pals, including Paget Brewster in an upcoming episode. Of course, Paul is in this season and last. Here's a mysterious raccoon. Who knows what that's all about?
This is one of my favorite moments in the episode. Watch my character. The bee comes up. David waves a little smile, and he goes right back to looking like such a scowl.
I
That's
never
my
noticed
issue
that.
with my face.
I mean, honestly,
It's
the Mammal Island animation, you can tell the love that they put into this. Like, I think a lot of the animators at Floyd County are
I
players.
think they were like, why can't you make the whole show like this?
Yeah, I think that they were into they had played Animal
Yeah.
Crossing, they knew it well, and you know, I kind of felt like it looked so good and was so smooth. Why aren't we just doing the whole show in Mammal
Right.
Island? Maybe that'll be a spinoff. Yeah, that refrigerator was such a big deal to me anyway in Parasite. I love
Their amazing refrigerator.
and their amazing refrigerator. There's a line that Paul Platypus says that there's a lot of animals on Mammal Island, but no parasites. That is a little
That's our
on the
little-
nose, but that was
yeah.
a little reveal of what we were talking about. So this is Hunchman sending a reveal.
This was a scene you really wanted. Your scene at the pool with the sun setting. You had a very specific vision for that.
And then here comes Orville. He thinks Orville is the criminal, but they all start floating in and stealing parsnips.
And now what's going on here? This is the Shining moment homage with this hedge
Yeah,
maze,
that's right.
right?
It's a chase through a hedge maze with an axe.
At the end of The Shining, the little boy is chased by Jack Nicholson in the snow through this hedge maze.
Floyd County really, I mean, the original sequence of this felt like it was about 35 minutes long. It was really exciting, but they really dug into this sequence. We had to shorten it quite a bit, obviously, for the episode.
Blorp. That's a
But
cool moment.
that turn is incredible.
That's computers, I think.
I feel like we got more movement in the Mammal Island world than we were able to get in the Dicktown world.
I think it's because they render the characters differently. I think it's a different anime. I don't know. I was about to sound like I knew what I was talking about, but I don't. So I'm going to stop saying it. But I think they're using different. I think they're using different computer program. Maybe I'm not sure.
Bonnie McAttack says, was there a heated debate about whether or not to include non-mammals on Mammal Island? Because I think I clocked them all. Yeah, there are a lot of non-mammals. I didn't even think about that, honestly. There was no debate. We were just like looking for animals. I didn't even think about it. There's a bug, there's a bird. We had a really hard time trying to figure out how to make it clear that Hunchman was playing Manolo Moreno's character.
Within the game.
Like, let's pretend that he's pulling a mask off of his face to reveal. And it doesn't make any sense within the world of the game, but it works really well.
How big that bedroom is. God, can you imagine?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like a design within reach. Wet dream in there.
What kind of pants is she wearing? They're kind of like linen, I bet. Or kind of silky bell bottoms, I guess.
Yeah, they made Marco and Miriam look like real influencers, real attractive Instagram couple.
Yeah,
It worked
it's
out
good
really
stuff.
well. Their design was terrific.
Yeah.
And axolotl is not a mammal. Good point. Thank you, Nitrogliss.
There's Gizmo again.
It looks like we have a team member from Floyd County in the chat, Shan Manor.
Oh, really?
On DT says, honestly, I don't remember. This person's responding to another question, but says, honestly, I don't remember. I'm a director on another show, but on DT, I was just a designer.
Oh, thanks for your help.
Thank you very much, Shan Manor, and anyone else who's in the chat. And here we are at one of our classic houseboat show closes with this breezy music by J.G. Thirlwell.
Chilling.
We didn't get to spend enough time on the houseboat this season. I was very intent upon destroying this houseboat.
I never understood that. I was always opposed to destroying the houseboat.
You know, I just wanted to. Some people just want to watch the boat burn, David.
You have to let people be in their comfy space.
And here we hear what later became known as Katie's theme, which was a piece of music library music called, I think it came from the deep, right?
Something like that. Yeah, it was like imitation 50s horror.
We just let it roll into the next one.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. See what happens.
What's the next one? Find out list. All right.
All right, I'm seeing the FX logo just passed. Now I'm seeing an ad.
I got Disneyland celebrating 50 years. First is people dancing in the 70s, now the 80s, now the 90s. It's all different dance styles and fashions. 2000s.
The greatest Hercule Poirot who ever lived.
I'm seeing that. Celebrate your hashtag happy place, Disney World 50.
I've not seen the movie Death
Disney.
on the Nile, and I don't know if I'm going to see it, but I love Murder on the Orient Express a lot.
FX Fearless.
Death on the Nile, rated PG-13.
Oh, this is the strawberry one.
All right, now I'm seeing the mature label for Language and Violence.
That's weird because this one is more this is the most sexual one of them all. This is the one that should have
language. This one has the hardest language.
Yeah.
So here we see the strawberry patch, and this one is we broke these episodes and sort of outlined the whole season together, but I was very interested in Animal Crossing, and you were very interested in this pick your own strawberries idea. This is a North Carolina thing that you would do, right?
Yeah, there used to be a pick your own strawberry patch at the outside of town growing up, and we would go pick strawberries and put them in the little buckets and stuff. It was fun. And I don't remember where this idea came from that there would be condoms in the strawberry field. I guess it just came to me when I was trying to think of like crazy things we could do.
Yeah, I think I remember when you sent me this script, it was pretty much locked in. Like there wasn't a lot that evolved. It was a really funny idea that the guys were hired to find out who was dropping prophylactics in the strawberry field. They were definitely coming from hot air balloons.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. Maybe I don't know. Anyway. So here we are, and you're trying to so when you're trying to like flirt with your online, John's character doesn't know it, but it's Katie kind of baiting him into showing up at the abandoned doll factory so she can torment him.
Come back from the past to get revenge on me.
But John is really into dating now. He really wants a girlfriend, a lover. So he's on this app. What do we call it? Love Swipe. Because on a lot of these,
I really wanted to call the dating app Only the Lonely, and it was going to be a dating app only for only children. It was going to be Only the Lonely. But that was too many syllables and too many jokes to work in.
Too much.
By the way, we just talked over one of my favorite jokes of the season, which is when when John says, "This is really out there," and David says, "Yeah, it's on a farm. Many of them are found in rural areas these days." Jorge slaps. That was.
Here comes Cayman Kelly. We auditioned this. We didn't know Cayman, but we had sent this role out to a casting agent. Some of the roles we know people that we want to do the role, and we just say, "Would you be willing to do this?" But with other characters, when we don't have a good sense of who would do a good job, we just send it out to a casting agent, and they send us a bunch of actors recording the lines and stuff. And Cayman Kelly was really funny and had a terrific voice. We just thought he would.
Yeah, he was so sweet, and he also put out his own press release when this came out, saying Cayman Kelly
Yeah.
was on Dicktown, and apparently Cayman Kelly is the voice of Monday Night Football. David,
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
did
I
not
mean, I
know
was
that.
worried, later in this scene, it gets like really dirty, and a lot of that stuff we just improv with him in the booth, and it wasn't in the script when he agreed to do it, I don't think. Maybe some of it was, but we also just did a lot of like filthy stuff, and I was worried when he saw it if he was going to be annoyed with how filthy it was. But he sent me an email. He was like, "Guys, that was really funny. Like, I'm
Oh,
telling
good.
everybody to go
Really
fuck in
good
the
time.
dirt and stuff." It's just
Glad he
like,
wasn't fired from his job being the voice of
he
Monday
was
Night
a really
Football.
good sport. He was really fun. That was a really fun record, actually. He really locked in on the character and stuff. So anyway, yeah, this is like a third generation strawberry farm, and he's having problems. And
Someone in the chat also shouted out the great tautology joke, which was
oh,
I
right,
don't even remember how that developed, but that was one where I thought no one's gonna. It'll go by so fast, no one will get it. But people love that. Is she a professor of tautology? If she is, she is. Still,
I think I
pretty
wrote
nutty.
that. That was what my
You got it right.
philosophy degree was good for.
Yeah.
Tautology jokes.
And Bonnie points out, I really like when David is happy for John when he makes a good match on the dating app. I mean, that's the guys are very
Yeah, he's
contentious
this
and
bro.
they yell at each other, but they
You're
have.
rooting for him.
I think what changed in the first season is that they grew to root for each other.
Yeah. Here's where he's like, now
Didn't
don't
do
get me
it.
wrong. I got nothing against outdoor loving. This whole run was really funny. We were really laughing when we were recording this. Garden grinding. It's erotic. I'm not denying that. It's so crazy. Why would he feel comfortable
Nothing
saying that? He
against
must be a maniac.
per se. Garden
Yeah.
grinding, getting filthy.
Piedmont poundfish was my clumsy homage to what are they called? New Jersey whitefish. What do they call condoms in the water in New Jersey?
I've never heard either of those terms. Piedmont poundfish is something you made up.
Yeah, totally. And also when we were in China, when I was in China with my high school buddies, when we were on a boat that was going up the Yangtze River, and we boarded at Yixian, and the river was just like so filled with condoms, and they were called like I can't remember what they were called, like Yangtze whitefish or something was that type of thing. It's just like so gross. I wanted to do it. Piedmont
And
poundfish.
thank you to those in the chat who recognize that my Satsuma joke is a reference to Jesse Thorne, who loves Satsumas in season.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Also, thanks to Cephosaurus in the chat for shouting out. I just got some Election Profit Maker stickers in the mail this week. Thanks.
Oh,
David.
nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting us.
Hey, if we missed your comment in the chat when we take a stop for a commercial break in a minute, put it through again if you have a question or you want to.
I love Tucker bouncing on that ball. It's so funny.
Are you already at Tucker? Maybe I'm behind you.
I'm at Tucker's calling his dad to ask if he can borrow the hot air balloon tonight. Yeah. Tucker bouncing up and down on that I used to have one of those balls to sit on, man. That's the worst. I think it's going to help you so much. It's so awkward. I wish I had the.
Are you at Amy Mann now?
No. He's like, I don't care why you need a hot air balloon.
Good. All right.
Okay, now we're hiding out behind the stand of trees. This is Amy Mann, the singer-songwriter, a friend of ours. I thought she would have a good voice to be this sardonic hot air balloon pilot, and she was stoked to do it because her grandfather in World War I was actually part of a hot air balloon corps in the military.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So she was like, yeah, I was born to play this role. It's in my blood. I
just thought it would be the visual of Amy Mann piloting a hot air balloon.
Right.
I just thought that would be an amazing thing to see.
No, she did a good job. I love this balloon integrated investment services. So tough.
Is that Tucker's dad's company or?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Yeah. Just the vaguest company you can think of. And this is just a silly joke about going up in the air and then not being able to go anywhere. I guess technically what you do in a hot air balloon is you raise it or lower it to catch different crosswinds or something. I had to research this when I was writing it. But
we should have spoken to Amy Mann's grandfather.
Yeah.
These voices of the young couple caught in the balloon are among the many talented folks at Floyd County who
just step in and do
a few lines.
Do a quick, yeah.
Boy, oh boy! I mean, if it's not clear, Floyd County was the third creator in this. Obviously, they were so talented and brought so much to it.
This is just like this is like one of the lamest mystery solutions. I just had to come up with something, so I said, "Oh, I made a psychological profile." Like, makes no sense. Writing the mysteries is the hardest part.
No
like,
one ever notices when it makes no sense.
I know, right? It's just like come up with anything.
I got a
Keep the story
text
going.
is a direct homage to Love Island. Our daughter was obsessed with Love Island a couple of years ago, and anytime the island is a big reality show in England, and every now and then they get a challenge sent to them on the island, and they go, "I got a text."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's all these secret references I don't know about. This is like actually watching a real director's commentary.
I'm not sneaking anything. I didn't mean to sneak anything without your permission.
No, there's probably references I made that you didn't realize were references. That's just
There
how it goes.
was an election profit makers reference in this episode about the dew
Oh,
point
the dew point. Yeah.
that
that was a big-
every EPM listener loved, and I had no idea what they were talking about.
right. Now we're at the doll. Are you in the doll factory
I'm in
now?
the doll factory. John Hunchman has entered and this is obviously based on Cabbage Patch dolls,
Lettuce head Southern dolls.
which actually started as an independent sort of doll phenomenon, handmade doll phenomenon in Atlanta, that then was bought by whatever company.
You're talking about Cabbage Patch.
Cabbage Patch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Floyd County did an amazing job.
John,
making
you
this
were the
whole
one
thing
who
scary.
really kind of did this animation sequence. You did a good job with this. I think I wasn't really thinking about this when I wrote the script. So you really like when we were doing the animatic, which is like the rough blocking out of just the scenes and stuff before you really like color it in and really animate it. You did a good job making this very specific,
David.
this escalation of the confrontation and the shots and stuff.
Well, I mean, you know, Floyd County really brought a lot of atmosphere to this, and the pacing is all them and everything else.
The
And of course,
editing, they edited it.
Sedaris
Yeah.
is so terrific. She was able to ride that line between, you know, because the Katie Festermeyer character, as we'll see later, is someone who's genuinely angry, but also has learned in a very sardonic way to laugh at life cruelly.
Mm-hmm.
This is a true story, almost. When I say I'm a grown man and then I have to call my dad for a ride, that's something that actually happened to me when I was being initiated as an honorary member of the Harvard Lampoon. And these young Harvard kids basically humiliated me as an initiation ritual. And I'm like, I'm a grown man. You can't do this to me. But then I had to call my dad for a ride to the train station. Let's take a little break. You want to take a little break there, David, or no? Yes, no, maybe so?
Well, are we really going to do all of these?
All right, we'll keep going.
I mean, we've done 3 and it's taken an hour. Well, you want to
We're
skip?
just going to roll
one or
through.
two?
We'll take a break and we'll talk some more later. Cargo
I'm-
shorts and saggy socks is a state of mind, says BG.
I'm seeing a trailer for Summer of Soul now. I think that's what this is.
T-Bone NYC 444 asks, have any of you ever had sex at altitude, balloon, plane, or Denver skyscraper? No, no, and no.
That's too personal.
I've never been in a hot air balloon. Have you ever been, David? Any lighter than aircraft? A blimp, a dirigible, anything?
No, I want to go skydiving, and I guess I would go on a hot air balloon. I really like dreams where I'm flying, so I'm always looking for that feeling like rope swings and stuff. And I'm not sure a hot air balloon would do it, but I'm intrigued by skydiving. I think I would like to do it.
It seems frankly terrifying to me.
I think it would be
All right,
cool.
now we're in the Fiero. Are we both in the Fiero together, David? That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you've just like scrunched your fists up.
And this is season 2, episode 4, The Mystery of the Adventures of Ponton.
This is a Tintin thing.
Yep.
Oakwood at the Elms. This is my homage to all the fancy developments in Chapel Hill that didn't exist when I was a kid. And they all have names like
early on in our conversations with
Pinehurst in the
FX.
Elms and stuff. Yeah.
It came up very early on in our conversations with Kate Lambert at FX that there should be a rival boy detective who was actually a boy.
Right.
A new boy detective, and just a complete Hunchman's humiliation, because of course he was a boy detective, now he's an adult detective, but still hasn't grown up.
Right.
And that, and you know, David and I both grew up enjoying The Adventures of Tintin, the famous Belgian comic,
Mm-hmm.
Hergé, and that morphed into
Ponton.
what if there was a foreign exchange student in town? And like Tintin, Ponton is, as Tucker's about to sing, of indeterminate age.
Right.
His name is
Blainsburg wrote this song.
Ponton, Belgian boy detective, indeterminate age.
They did a great job making this look like Tintin panels too.
Yeah, they captured that lean Claire look.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
And yeah, this song was composed by John Flansburgh of They Might Be Giants, who was the first person to ever put me on television in the Venue Songs DVD that They Might Be Giants put out in 2004, I think. Waffle-headed Belgian is a great line. Good job, David.
I don't think did I write that? Maybe it was just a goof. Maybe it was a improv. I kind of like Tucker's guitar.
Yeah,
He always has some cool gadgets, and these are nice pajamas too. Tucker always has the best clothes of any of the characters.
That song was composed by John Flansburgh, but it was sung by Ronald Pete, who is not only an incredible actor, but an incredible singer and stage performer. Guy. Who is Tucker based off of? Asked Meredith. Ronald Pete. Ronald Pete.
Yeah.
is just one of the most.
He has that self-assured vibe.
Holy moly! When he walks in a room, do you ever know it? We just wanted Tucker to be better at being a grown-up than the guys.
Yeah, and just kind of
Ronald
intimidating to them. Also, I love that. I forgot the moment where he doesn't know their names. I think that's so funny. Like he just humors these two old dudes who come by and like he's never thought to ask what their names are. Just calls them detectives for fun.
And now here is Ponton, voiced by the incredible actor Jean-David Fantôme.
There's a little
Very
scarf.
mysterious voice actor.
Yeah. Some say the greatest voice actor of our generation.
Some say.
Some say.
And this character is also based, as you pointed out, David, when we went to Atlanta to do a show.
Oh. This is your
I would say
your nemesis.
I was doing a show in Atlanta, and we did a show together in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we stayed at the Highland. It was a hotel. It was like almost a residential hotel.
Yeah, it felt like a bed and breakfast kind of.
Yeah, like
that was the first weekend I ever had Instagram. That was the weekend I downloaded Instagram. I think my very first ever Instagram photos are of that weekend.
Now, here's Paget Brewster, of course, as Judy Sparecrust. Just, you know, I don't love to use sports metaphors, but she's just knocking it out of the baseball field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was really funny.
She was so funny. She's so great.
She's great.
So, but when we were staying at this hotel, after our show, we came back to the hotel, and there was a wedding party, a bride and groom and their closest friends who were having an after party at the hotel. They had the wedding, the reception.
They were just chilling afterwards.
They were just chilling, and we totally crashed this party.
Yeah.
And there was a French dude there wearing a little hat and a white shirt and suspenders. And as Hunchman says, there's one thing I cannot stand. It's a confident European. This kid was rolling all over the conversation, just loving life, being French.
He was kind of like holding court.
He had zero hang-ups of any kind.
We partied with those people like for a long time. Like that was a long night. I wonder if I have a photo. You know what? Let me see if I have a photo of him, because I know I have photos of that.
I'll keep talking about this.
Keep it going.
So this is obviously a murder mystery dinner. And Hunchman's character that he creates for himself, Theopold Fortescue, intrepid IRS character, is based on Charles Martin Smith's character in The Untouchables. And this is a throwaway joke because the Fredo Lumpinelli was supposed to be performed in this world, in this universe, by Paul F. Tompkins' character Loafer Toe-Knuckle, but he couldn't attend because his new restaurant fell on him.
Right.
It's a weird throwaway line. It was really challenging to get the vibe of good actors pretending to be bad actors reading from a script.
Yeah.
And this, of course, is Janie Haddad Tompkins returning as Emma Bowers, unleashed now on her own, outside of no longer under Loafer's thumb.
Right.
Really
Loafer's
leans into
toe
her
knuckle.
character. And Janie just started making these noises that were so disturbing as part of her Chicago accent. Just
Little
like,
grunts and stuff. That was really funny. I'm never going to find that photo. Never mind.
that's fine.
All right, where are we? Let's see what's happening in this fun episode.
Of course, when she makes me do my Chicago accent, I go into my.
What's that dog from the
it's,
Muppets?
It's Rolf from the Muppets, but I was
Right.
trying to do Tom Waits.
Oh.
What are you saying about this now? See?
Tom Waits from Chicago?
No, but he sounds a lot like Rolf the dog.
Right, yeah. I think this little sequence where I'm talking to these guys, I think I recorded this in my bedroom because we didn't like any of the takes that we got in the studio, and so I think this is one of the home records that actually wound up in the show, which we would do sometimes. Like if we were in the studio and then they cut it all together and we didn't like one of our line reads, we'd be like, are there any other reads of this line? And if they couldn't find anything else, then sometimes John and I would just like record it again on our own using just like our podcasting gear, and they could try to EQ it to make it sound the same as the other recordings. So sometimes we would do that. That would be really useful if you realized you missed a line or could make something quicker.
Yeah. This sequence, as Ponton sneaks through the house through these secret doors and such, and Hunchman follows him, is inspired a little bit by the Edward Gorey animated opening for the Mystery, PBS Mystery, ! show, which they don't air anymore, so never mind. And it was also inspired by, we wanted to do a sequence where Ponton was doing a lot of Tintin-like things, finding secret doors, looking for clues. But at each thing that he was seeking was some debauchery. Like he wanted to find a bottle of Calvados and a place
He just wanted to party.
Drink and party, yeah.
We got this big gong. I forgot about this ding dong upon my gong.
Someone asked in the chat, was Paget Brewster doing a character from Thrilling Adventure? There's a little bit of her character from Beyond Belief in there, but
that's probably why we thought of her for this role. Kind of grand dame.
Dustin Down Under knows the Edward Gorey animated opening sequence to the PBS show Mystery.
This dude who played Ponton is such a genius. I just want to reiterate, like anyone would be so lucky to work with him, especially like a major Pixar or Disney movie would be a fool not to hire this guy immediately.
We actually auditioned quite a few actual French speakers, and we told them no. Instead,
Jean the genius
did it. But it's true. Like he's truly this Jean David really captured what a louche creep Ponton is.
Now they're going to have some gong fun.
Gong fun is so much fun. Ducal is actually a Luxembourgish brand cigarette.
Here he says, ding dong upon my gong. That I think was improvised in the studio.
And I loved it.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Floyd County for making all these like peanut art. It's like her house just filled with art of peanuts.
The background designers, as always, just kill it with all these we wanted peanut themed art in the background, and they gave us like 9 different styles and periods of peanut inspired art.
Right. Yeah, like she's been collecting peanut art her whole life.
T-Bone asked, were there any legal concerns, Ray Tintin? Come at Hergé Estate. Come at us both. We'd love the publicity. It's parody, so
I think we're safe, yeah. I think that moment right there, I don't know what you guys are seeing, but when he looks off to the side and he's like, Ponton fever is highly contagious. I think that's great animation of his face. It's really expressive.
Of course, Slushy peeing
on this dog peeing on. And they are in their NASCAR suits.
I really wanted these NASCAR suits, and I had no idea how burdensome and expensive it would be to design these NASCAR suits and put them on the guys for this one scene.
Yeah.
and what I don't want Floyd County to know is I definitely wanted them investing in some kind of costume for their big gig that would then be they would lose the gig at the end of the episode, but they'd still have the costumes. And the best thing I could think of was NASCAR suits for the Museum of NASCAR in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was always a B- joke for me.
Also,
yet-
look how crummy John's fridge is. Like he has no food in his fridge.
Well, maybe Katie Festermeyer took all the food to fill it up.
Oh, I never thought about that. Just to leave the doll head. All right, I want to give a shout out to Natalie Baseman, our writer's assistant, who texted to say she's listening and watching. We couldn't have done this without Natalie. I was always skeptical that we needed a writer's assistant, but it was like a total game changer. And I don't know how we would have made our deadlines on this compressed schedule if it hadn't been for Natalie. So, hello, Natalie. Thank you for everything.
So much good company, so much fun to bounce ideas off of. Had so many great ideas. And when we get to, I believe it's episode 207, where we start to learn a little of the deep background of Katie Festermeyer and why she wants revenge, the melting lip gloss.
That was Natalie's telling us. Yeah. So I'm watching something called Fresh, which I think is like an erotic cannibal dating show, but I'm not sure.
I have an ad for FanDuel Sportsbook. So.
Oh, all right.
Now I'm coming back into the advisory for language and violence is rated mature.
All right, so now I see that you're holding up the trophy.
Oh.
Are you there?
I think you're a little ahead of me. I'll just jump ahead a little bit.
Dana Singh, boy detective, not yet a man. Project Grow Up, doomed to failure.
Yep, that's exactly we're synced up.
Now we're seeing the finished product of this news item that they thought was going to be such a great boon for their business, but it just makes them look like idiots.
We're season 2. Episode 5, The Mystery of the Marauding Mascot.
Here's my shot from the dryer.
Her first time to shine as she terrorizes this kid in the laundromat. This laundromat is based on a Chapel Hill laundromat that I think I bought a soda there one time, the last time I was in Chapel Hill.
Really?
It was just so big and suburban, and it was so full of like TVs and ping pong tables and massage chairs. It was like,
dude, there used to be, I don't know if there's any old Chapel Hill heads watching right now. There used to be this laundromat across the street from Fowler's called Soaps. And when I would spend the night at Aaron's house, his dad would always do laundry on Friday nights, and he would take us to Soaps and give us quarters. And they had it was like a video arcade with like 2 washing machines in it. It was nuts. They had so many video games. Like the funnest place in town was this laundromat, Soaps. It was so cool. Anyway, that's just a Chapel Hill laundromat
here's
memory.
A preview of I Sing on Your Grave, which is the musical that Meg, who goes to this high school, is producing, and that comes up. It's a major plot point in a couple of episodes.
Mm-hmm. This is where we learned about the meat sticks. This is obviously all just a riff on Jordan Peterson being this maniac self-help guy who ate too much meat and wound up in a coma in Serbia or something, just completely insane. I just think that guy's so funny.
Very, very popular personal growth guru.
Yeah. So Marjorie Frost is like a female version of Jordan Peterson, like that very severe, like parental, like you need to clean your room. That's why no one loves you, because you don't clean your room and you don't tuck your shirt in. I love all that stuff. And he's like, you have to eat nothing but meat. And then it's like, dawn. And then he goes into a coma or something. It's like not funny, but it's just like so crazy. And then people still listen to him. And then he's like, wears a tuxedo to go on the Joe Rogan podcast. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're a grown man. Like, what is up? It's so crazy.
Other world.
Anyway, so that's what
and here's my
Marjorie Frost is based on
podcast and an actor, and from the TV show Love, and obviously the Tomorrow War, obligatory plug. Debuting as Grubby, which is this idea was David's. It was very early on. He's like, we should have the Richardsville High School mascot running around town causing trouble and vandalizing stuff, and it should be based on Gritty. And I don't know if you know this, David, but as I did my pass on the script, I actually reached out to a pretty well-known cosplayer on social media, an English person named Riot Rogers, because she had built a female gritty called Gritney. And I
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah. And I asked, what did you learn from trying to make this thing? And she gave me a lot of information about, and that specific thing about the fur, you'll see coming up soon when we get to the Jean Grey scene, but the fur was all imported from South Korea. So
Oh,
that,
that's amazing. I didn't realize that. This was our thing about, in Chapel Hill, it had this very, on campus at UNC, there's a very famous statue that was called Silent Sam, which honored like North Carolina's Confederate war dead, and like a lot of Confederate statues, it was yanked down in the last few years, and I wanted to do something about this like hysteria about cancel culture and like they're erasing our heritage and stuff. And I think because we already had this idea that the high school mascot was a smoking baby, I was like, this is so perfect. Like people will be upset that they can't, that the mascot is no longer a smoking baby. It's like literally so toxic, but people will still be upset about it because it represents change. And so I think when we had decided that we wanted a story where a mascot just goes crazy, like going buck wild, I think we combined it with this idea that there would be a cancel culture outrage about smoking baby. Because John, I don't know if you remember this, but like when we were plotting out this season, at one point we did have an episode where David was going to be hired by Loafer Toe Knuckle to stand guard at the statue of his like great great grandfather who was like a Confederate general. And then we're gonna have all these Antifa kids show up and like convert David Purefoy into being like hardcore Antifa, like green black hoodie and everything. But it was like that was just like too on the nose, like too literal. Like then it wouldn't be subtext. So at some point we're like, no, it should be something a little oblique, like have it be people upset that the smoking baby is no longer the mascot, that type of thing.
And this, of course, is Jean Grey returning as Monica from season 1, episode 1, cosplay kid that we helped in when she was in high school. Now she's at community college. And of course, Jean Grey here is dressed obliquely as Jean Grey as Phoenix from the X-Men.
I thought she was Cyclops. That's Phoenix?
That's Phoenix.
Oh.
Yeah, she's dressed as Jean Grey. That was the joke.
See, okay.
David's about to make his appearance as incredible tuxedo mask. That was
this was I said he should be some kind of anime, and everyone at Floyd County was like, he should be Tuxedo Mask. And I know a little bit about Sailor Moon, so I thought that was a good choice because that's kind of like a cool character, I think. This is Heather on the houseboat. We had crows fighting over the meat sticks and stuff. And then here comes some classic exposition. Why are we at this location, John? And then John just explains it.
I hate this trick in movies and television so much. I mean, I think
sometimes you got to do it.
It's like, tell me why we're doing this again.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I will never speak ill of any Avengers movie, but when Rocket Raccoon says to Chris Pratt in Infinity War, why are we doing this again? I was just like, come on. Incredible background design by Floyd County. I
want to say shout out to all these are era accurate North Carolina license plate designs. I was very particular about this. If you look at this, you'll see that this represents decades of different North Carolina license plates, which is very, very cool.
And we wanted just a shrine to Smoking Baby, and what they came up with was so
utterly love Smoking Baby. Yeah.
Disturbing, I said.
Here's the special lock on the craft nook. John, look at John's mind. Look at John's mind already at work. Look at the wheels turning.
It's 2.5, right?
This is the biggest stretch in Dicktown history that you would guess the password being canceled. It's so crazy.
Cancel me. This is Fortune Feemster.
North Carolina native.
Now, this was such an incredible thing that we got Fortune to do this, because Fortune is so talented. It's so great. Obviously, legitimately Southern. My idea that this character should be played by Nick Weiger doing an imitation of Mike Mitchell's actual mom from Quincy was a joke that only I would enjoy. No one else. David still doesn't know what I'm talking about.
No.
You can't.
I mean, I know Mike from the Doughboys because we went on the Doughboys.
Weiger's the other one, but that's another story. Fortune is so.
Oh,
Looks like Llama's leaving the chat. See you later, Llama. Have a good night.
I like that little fist bump. That's sweet. Heather appreciates Hodgman's skills as a detective. And I think this is where she does her little pouty thing that I wanted to do. Get smoking baby back.
Oh, great. Baby back.
Yeah.
That's
what it's all about, man. Heritage, not hate. You know, it's not a symbol of hate. It's a symbol of heritage. That's where she's at with smoking baby. And then he's like, I don't want to wear a diaper or smoke. She's like, okay, weirdo. So silly.
Now, David, Jean Grey is back now, but now she is in the Dark Phoenix costume. When Phoenix,
right? Okay, she goes evil for a while, right?
Now she's wearing the Dark Phoenix costume. I mean, let me say a costume inspired by Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, say that. That's better. Yeah,
because that obviously would be illeagues.
Yeah. There's a sweet couple, these two.
Craig says, "Are the meat sticks bigger at the end?"
I think there is a little meat stick size inconsistency.
There was a lot of effort to make that meat stick look as withered and phallic as possible, and it's
dried out. Yeah. Now this is my favorite sequence, maybe, of the season. This whole thing when David puts it all together. I think they did a great job with this, and the music really suits the sense of escalating mystery and stuff.
Credit to them, because this is just music that came from a music library. It was not
the needle drop. Yeah, this is not customized to our show.
The moments to make it play, and what they do with the lighting here. You know, I don't know how aware people are of either version of the movie Cape Fear, or for that matter, the John D. MacDonald book that
novel. Yeah,
but there's a lot of 1990s Cape Fear in how this is playing. You know, the idea that the bad guy is nearby but not so near, and being kind of hale and hearty and with them, but letting them know that they got a target on their backs.
Yeah, they did a great job with this sequence. It's really cool.
And also, it's important to something that's mentioned in passing that we talked over, which is, first of all, there's Mr. Suggs, the ska teacher, but also that Katie has a raccoon. That was a throwaway line that you wrote for the script, David. That she had a raccoon that she brought to school and kept in her locker. And I kind of feel like you were just riffing on sort of bananas stuff that Katie
like stuff that bad kids do. This kind of like legendary things that she would have a raccoon named Ripper. It's like such a tough name.
Later on,
right? Yeah, that's true. Actually, I forgot about that.
So now we're rolling into episode 6. We are halfway through. I'm watching an ad for a car.
I got Smile Direct Club. I think this is like
it's interesting to hear what the algorithm.
Tooth straighteners. Excuse my crooked teeth. Oh, here we go. It's like an insert that maybe it's so you don't need braces.
Was this animated in Georgia? And the answer is yeah. It was all animated
in Atlanta.
Entirely in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Floyd County Production Studios. They're in Atlanta. They're the ones who make Archer, among other things.
How does this thing work? This smile thing? You bite down on it and straightens your teeth?
I don't know what you're watching. I'm watching
SmileDirectClub.com. All right.
We get money for that. All right. Now I'm seeing the FX logo. We just come out. I've just come out of the mature label.
Okay, you're like 1 second ahead of me. I'm not going to bother trying to catch up. All right, this is my baby. This is the musical episode.
This was the big one.
So I was in one musical in high school, Pirates of Penzance, and I had a lot of fun. And this season, I really wanted to do one about a high school musical. And I just thought it would be really funny if it was just like an extremely violent musical. And I know it's not really era appropriate that Meg, who's Anna Akana's character, who's returning in this season, it's not really appropriate that she would be obsessed with like 70s era splatter movies, but those were the movies my friends and I watched too young in middle school. So I wanted to combine these two formative cultural experiences I had of watching like Last House on the Left in 7th grade or whatever, but also being in a musical. So yeah, we did this episode about Meg's extremely violent and inappropriate musical. And Anna is amazing to work with. She's such a good actor.
Yeah, it was
And
Anna Kana as Meg. She was such a superstar in season 1. We were just
right,
had
the
to
little
find.
blurb
I mean,
episode.
she was supposed to be 18, I think. She
Right.
was. I feel like she was supposed to be a senior in
No.
season 1, but we kept her around high school for 1 more year so that
Right.
she could direct this.
And this is John Early right here, who's like one of the funniest dudes in America right now, from Search Party and from working with Kate Berlant.
Yeah,
I really wanted him. And then Selena Qureshi was somebody who we auditioned. We put a casting call out for people who had experience in musical theater because we wanted that vocal performance style, that
Yeah.
it's a very specific Broadway singing style. And she has a great voice. And we had a rehearsal with both of them before we actually did the record, and they both just nailed these songs.
yeah. Selena's an
Yeah.
actor, and she's been on Madam Secretary and The Society on Netflix, and
She has a great voice. It was
she's
really
got a
great
great
hearing her sing
voice.
this stuff. Oh, and then yeah, Sarah Val's coming up. I totally forgot Sarah was in this
Sarah
episode.
Val's in this episode as well. I mean, it was just a
This is a real star.
embarrassment of riches, a star-studded cast.
This is star-studded. This is when David is trying to become a little more proactive in his detective work because of all this nonsense he's been reading from the pterodactyl lady. He's going to steal all the dinosaur eggs.
You can see the grubby has
Whatever.
replaced Smoking Baby on the Richardsville High School.
You'll notice this. You'll notice the
Key
smoking
house.
baby has been replaced with Grubby. Very subtle.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say that it might not be noticeable is I really wanted to have balls in the background of every shot because this is an episode about getting your balls cut off. So I think behind Sarah Val's character, look on the right side of your screen. There's 2 balls. So that's like a little Easter egg. There's just balls everywhere in most of the shots. They were cool to do that. And this blood from Chip's Meat Market is a homage to Cliff's Meat Market in Carborough, which we can't use the actual business names. So sometimes I tinker with the names. But Cliff's Meat Market is an old school
Oh, I see those balls.
butcher.
I see those 2
Yeah.
basketballs or something.
Hairy basketballs, sure.
Or are they supposed to be
Backstage.
coconuts?
I think those are coconuts. I think there's basketballs later, and then there's balloons, and then I think maybe there's some bowling balls.
Hang on, Jasper's in the house.
Oh yeah, there's Jasper.
Your knives are so pretty.
Yeah, this was
I don't remember who acted Jasper.
me in my bedroom doing it.
Oh, I know it was you. I was making a joke.
No, I take credit for that. I'm proud of that performance. I was
think
really
that's
cracking
supposed to
myself
be
up.
on the scrim that the guy with the bag over his head rolled away. It was supposed to be the room from Saw.
Yeah, right. And see those balls in the middle of the screen?
In the background.
Purple balls. Yeah. This is when John Early and David bond over their love of musicals. I thought it would be cool if David was like secretly really into musicals, and it kind of like freaked John out because John likes to think of David as completely uncultured.
A true Philistine in my mind.
Yeah. All these musicals that he mentions are musicals that my real life mom had the cast recordings for because when she lived in New York, she loved going to musicals, and she was there in like the golden age of the American musicals in like the 50s and 60s.
Jacob wants to know, is that how movies lay out props with all those outlines around the knives? I don't know. Oh,
I truly don't know.
They animated this so great. Your moment, or David Purefoy's moment with John Early's character. So
also, I think this was Natalie's idea to have them do the same dance move when they say that. So shout out to Natalie for that idea.
Good job. Yeah. Now here's Jasper with
Natalie Basin.
Balloons.
Yeah, popping his balloons. Jasper's kind of cool. I kind of like him. I think he's a cool kid.
I love on the marquee how they just casually put ponchos,
right,
$3.50 or something, foreshadowing that this.
This is based on another huge. The poncho thing is based on another big cultural influence of mine in high school, which was going to see Guar whenever they came through town. Right. Seeing Guar in Chapel Hill and seeing Guar in Greensboro. Yeah.
Do the Smash Zone.
Just like super violent, over the top, cheeky stuff like Jasper with his white makeup.
Huntsman's character here is dressed as one of the villains of the last. No, I
Yeah.
Spit on Your Grave,
Yeah.
which is a video cassette that I scared the heck out of me when I saw it. Used to see it at Video Smith in Brookline.
Yeah. It's a legendary videotape cover.
It's very titillating, and in
Yeah.
fact, it's Demi Moore's body walking
Yeah.
away from the camera,
That's right.
holding that knife. But then I watched the trailer for the movie. I thought I would watch it before working on this episode.
Not
and
fun.
It seemed
No.
so grim
Yeah.
and awful.
And Lizelle here is dressed like a nun in honor of Abel Ferrara's movie Miss 45, which is like a classic 70s like gritty like rape revenge
Right.
movie, where she goes to a Halloween party dressed as a nun and just like goes buck wild on everybody. So that was another visual reference to that era of like exploitation movies. Yeah. And then David is about to put on a sort of Leatherface style Texas Chainsaw Massacre mask.
But first, we have a 42nd Street moment where
Right.
McCoy's girl is asked to star. This dude with the chainsaw in the background looks like he wandered in from a production of Hair. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. This was fun. This was another fun music cue to track down. Like we wanted like piano-based inspirational musical sounding cue.
Derp Side asked a question about whether the Chardonnay only gag, a wine store that only serves whites in the last episode, was a reference to when the singer from Pantera yelled a white nationalist phrase from the stage and then later claimed to be speaking about white wine. No.
No.
In fact, I was
Phil
just
you're talking about Phil Anselmo? I don't trust that guy.
Yeah. No. It was just
Plus, Down is the dumbest name for a band ever. I don't know. I never was into Pantera. I know what you're talking about, but I don't think that's what we're.
I would be really amazed if someone has not already made the joke about a wine store that serves only whites.
Sure.
When we came up with that joke, I was like, let's put it in, but I'm sure it's been done.
Yeah, that happens. Here's where John is freaked out because the musical is so violent. Oh, and we should give a shout out to our friend Michael Penn, the singer-songwriter. So I wrote the songs, like the lyrics and the melody, but I don't know how to play piano. So I would record these voice memos of these different songs, like "You fucked around and now you're gonna find out." And then I took them to Michael. I just sent him a cappella demos of me just singing the melody and said I want it to sound like High School Musical arrangement where you just have a piano, it's a very distinctive type of chords and stuff. And Michael like built these songs around just these voice memos, these a cappella voice memos that I sent him. It worked really well.
I know you mentioned it and I just missed it, but we're talking about Michael Penn.
Yeah, Michael Penn. Amy Mann. It's a husband and wife team. Amy Mann and Michael Penn are both helped out this season, and they were good sports about it. And I think at some point Michael Penn was like, "So what instrumentation is it?" And I was like, "Man, we have no budget. It's just piano." And I think Michael Penn was like, "What about a triangle? Could we add a triangle?" I was like, definitely.
The triangle slaps, I have to say.
Yeah. And then we got this whoever voiced the theater critic saying "Bravo, musicals" did a great job.
Who that person was?
Well, they're a great collaborator. Bravo. And here again, it's just like another completely slapdash bit of exposition about Jasper, and this makes no sense because, I mean, these scripts are really short. We did explain at some version of the script where Jasper went, but in this final cut, it's just never like. Never explained like where this kid went. Was it? I think it was like he needed batteries for his graphing calculator. It was like there was no time for it.
A lot of mystery shows.
Yeah,
I think it's all part of the legacy of doing a mystery show.
Yeah, just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. I like how covered in blood they are. But
yeah, this is what I wanted to see from the very beginning of the season. I wanted to see that houseboat burn and go down.
It's very psychological. It's something about that for you. Yeah.
The house is a expression of the self, right? I mean,
you wanted to immolate.
All dream analysis, that's true.
Yeah.
I wanted John's whole world to burn down.
You wanted to rise like a phoenix.
I was quite touched that Two Balls continued. That's a great joke. Probably one of the top jokes.
So dumb.
I was always touched by David's insistence that houseboat had to live.
Yeah, I like it. I like seeing them on the houseboat.
I guess we'll roll right along here, but I just want everyone to, when you're going through this again, please stop and take a look at the credits and just think of all those incredible people at Floyd County and elsewhere who couldn't have done it without them. All right, I'm seeing an ad now. So while this ad goes on, if anyone's got a question in the chat, I'd be happy to try to answer it, or David will.
Are people still watching?
Yeah, we have 125
Really
viewers.
grinding it out. All right.
Now. Thanks for hanging in there, everybody.
Did David catch the runner and Miss 40? I've only seen I don't think I've watched all of Miss 45. I think I just watched the nun sequence, the Halloween party sequence, to see what references or vibes we should get for our musical. Yeah.
We're in the home stretch, season 2, episode 7, The Mystery of the Golden Lungs. Thanks for hanging in, everybody. I'm John Hodgman. That's David Rees. We're the co-creators of Dicktown, and this episode features the original score by Jonathan Colton. We just needed something to bring
Matt
this
Thompson, our executive producer, was like, "This is like the crux of the season, and we should really splurge on original music that is really timed to different moments of revelation during the flashback and stuff." And our friend Jonathan, who we've both worked with a lot over the years, obviously has experience with scoring and knows the show, obviously. And so working with him was really fun to have him involved.
Jonathan is opening for Amy Mann on tour.
Oh, snap. That's right. In fact, they might be in New York this week doing shows.
They're in New York this weekend doing shows at City Winery, I believe. I don't know. Check it out. But try not to miss them if you can hack it. Amy Mann with Jonathan Colton opening. That's a great night of entertainment. All right. Punchman is going back into his mind palace to revisit. I'm doing that voice.
Yep.
That's how we compromised. We had Heather say, "Please don't do
Shut
this
it down.
to get me out of."
Lame. Yeah. Smoking baby decal.
This was a lot of exposition to explain that the Golden Lungs Trophy is given every year to the School Tobacco Club, who submits the smoothest smoke to the state fair. That is locker number 237. Obviously, that is a reference to the movie The Shining.
Oh, right. Did you see that documentary with all the conspiracy theorists about The Shining?
I found that to be diverting for about a third of its running time.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea of it. Just after a while, it became clear, like, these probably aren't true.
Right. Yeah.
Fascinating to think about.
Speaking of The Shining in Chapel Hill, I went to my high school buddy Mike's birthday party last week, and there was someone there. I won't name them in case they don't want to be named, but he's an artist that we grew up with, and he was a year behind us in high school, and he did like a lot of production stuff for movies. He was like specialized in special effects. And then when we were done hanging out at the party, I went home to Google him just to see what his art is like. And one of his art pieces was he made an exact replica of the manager's office in The Shining. The scene where they're like meeting in the office. So one of his art projects was inside a gallery. He made a identical version of that room that you could go sit in. It's kind of cool.
Incredible.
Like conceptual art, I like stuff like that. Here's John's breakfast sandwiches. Always have some breakfast sandwiches in Dicktown.
What are you seeing now, David?
You're looking at the attendance sheet, looking at all the kids.
A little bit ahead of you.
Yeah.
Tell me when I'm sniffing the fire alarm.
You're sniffing it now. Yeah, teeth exposed. That was a late note that they accommodated. We wanted him to look like a rodent when he started sniffing everything.
I had to do a lot of heavy sniffing.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be as disgusting as possible.
And this is Natalie's contribution to this episode, was telling us that when things are really hot, the girls had to put the lip gloss on with their fingers.
Because it was melting.
Yeah, exactly. We used that idea. So thank you, Natalie, for that contribution. God, Katie looked kind of tough back then wearing fingerless gloves. That's kind of a hardcore look for her. Yeah.
She had a little Mayor Winningham.
Yeah.
In, some kind of wonderful
toughness. It looks good. This is my homage to all the sketchy teachers who were rumored to have been completely inappropriate at my high school.
All of my sketchy high school teachers. I guess they're universal.
Yeah,
I think
there's
that
always, yeah.
it's supposed to be in the blue polo with the Lacoste. I think that's supposed to be Taggy. But David
Yeah.
is saying, I can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait for that raccoon to jump out on that nerd.
yeah,
I think we actually asked John Glazer to record some lines as young Taggy, but it just took too much time.
yeah.
And of course, that's young Donnie on the cameraman too. That's young Dana Singh and young Donnie. They're still
Mhm.
working together on Richardsville Early Evening, which is very much based on Evening Magazine, the Boston edition that I used to watch with Barry Nolan. And now I forget his co-host's name. Very embarrassed.
This is where he's about to ask how many pulleys they have. See, David is skeptical because I think he naturally empathizes with underdogs for some reason. Even though on the one hand he's like a bully, but on the other hand, I think he has empathy for Katie. He sees something that John can't see, which is that she's been done wrong. Maybe because he can relate to someone being done wrong by John's arrogance,
Yeah, because there's a little bit of a reversal of their characters here. Because normally if Taggy were pitching an idea of trapping someone in a net with pulleys and ropes, David would be like, "That sounds amazing."
Right, and John would be like, "That doesn't make sense."
Yeah,
Right.
but because he's tuned into the fact that Katie is a real person, and John still isn't tuned into that,
Right.
the situation is reversed. You can now legally drop a bowling ball out of a fiery birdcage into someone's head, and then Seesaw launch them into a net.
God, the duct tape on that boot stick looks fucking incredible. With the shading on it looks so good. It looks exactly like duct tape.
That boot stick, of course, is directly inspired by the game of Mousetrap. All of this stuff is based on.
Oh, really? Yeah. See, I don't know half these. Yeah.
There's a boot on a stick that kicks over a bucket or something in the game of Mousetrap.
What? It's my boot stick.
Let's go into the abandoned doll factory. It's a great line. What? It's my boot stick. He keeps it with him.
There's a very cool moment where she bloop disappears. Her silhouette goes away. That's cool. Egg salad Sammy's. So what Jonathan had to do when he scored this episode that was kind of tricky was we wanted to keep the original needle drop music that we had found for Katie's theme and some of the other cues that had occurred earlier in the season. And Jonathan kind of had to like write around those cues, like using the same chord progressions and the same instrumentation, but then also like expand those music cues so that we could modulate the emotions when it came to different revelations and stuff. And he did a really good job with that. It's pretty seamless, You can't really tell. I mean, not that anyone watching it would know other than us, but you can't tell where like the pre-existing needle drop cues end and Jonathan's original stuff takes over, which is really cool.
And this is a big long scene of dialogue, and it's essential to the entire season. But without Jonathan's music,
it would be pretty flat. Yeah,
we had the score. I just remember we're going like, it's too long, it's too long, it's too long.
Right.
But that's just because we didn't have the emotion of the emotion underlined that made each moment distinct.
Right. Down in their hair pit,
They're
scratching their
obviously
skin.
Visually a kind of homage to Silence of the Lambs, but they're in a pit full of
right.
Like I said, doll hair.
Puts the doll hair in the basket.
Now the music is starting to get intense again. It went from pathos to pure aggression as she realizes there's nothing she can do to John Hunchman to make his life any worse than it already is.
Right. This is where David gets super annoyed that John can't just admit he made a mistake. He'd literally rather just stay in a pit of doll hair than admit he fucked up.
Yeah. A person in the chat, Venetia, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, points out that as bad as Katie is, she only ever says fudging.
That was John's decision, I think. I think you didn't want her to cuss.
I don't even remember what it was, but I just kind of, I think I just felt bad making Amy Sedaris say curse words. She's perfectly capable of it. But I wanted her to, I don't know what it was about it. I just loved having Amy there. She came in and read with us in person one time for this monologue, and this was so great.
I mean, this monologue used to be really long. It had a whole backstory about her like selling storage lockers and working as a bouncer at Wrightsville Beach. Like, we went really deep. It was like
We went really deep.
really involved. I think I got carried away when I was writing that
loved
monologue.
background so much. I was fighting to keep it in, but
Yeah.
ultimately, you
had
were
to
right. We
make
needed
time.
to just move it along.
Yeah. We had to make time. This is where they break up. One thing we wanted to have this season was to have them have a real fight and break up. This little mouse doesn't care. This rat just wants to
eating that egg salad sandwich and listening was a pure Floyd County.
Yeah, that wasn't in the
And that
script.
added texture and made this move along.
That's good animation there. Those poses look really cool. I kind of see now everyone understands why I'm in the dark. I've been waiting for this moment. I want it to be lit the same way as the most intense scene.
Yeah, you look like you're in the doll pit.
Yeah, I'm doing my.
Yep. And he climbs over John.
I'm out. Get that boot stick. Is that when Glazer says, like, I'm up here chilling and eating these sandwiches?
He grabs that boot stick.
Yeah.
I think you added this to the script at the last minute, like using that boot stick to just kick John in the nose.
Boink.
And I think, I have to say, this doesn't feel manufactured to me. I hope it doesn't to other. Oh my God, the rat or the mouse rolling the bowling ball into the pit.
That was a
a
Floyd
pure
County.
Floyd County thing, I think. Or was that your thing? I don't know.
It was Floyd County, I think.
Such a great ad. But the truth is that John thinks David Purefoy is stupid, and when it comes down to it, he's going to say it, and David won't accept it because he's not stupid. And now I'm getting an ad for NYU Langone Health.
For what?
NYU
Oh, you know what I'm getting an
Langone.
ad for? That erotic thriller starring Ben Affleck and what's her name from Knives Out, where I heard about this movie. It's really wild. It's like a old school 90s erotic thriller. He's like getting
Deep Water.
cuckolded.
That's the one that started out for me.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on with 2XL while this is happening.
Oh my
How are
God.
you doing 2XL?
I think this is getting out of control. The passion that they have for each other. It's like,
Right,
wait,
David?
am I supposed to be going? I'm watching it. Are you not?
I just saw the FX.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm seeing David wander nakedly through.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, so one thing we wanted to do this season was have them split up, and then they each kind of get their own episode.
Now, I don't see how you can say David standing buck naked in the middle of town in front of Jamie Lee Curtis's giant pterodactyl is not a sexual situation. They said that this episode has no sexual situations, but this is hot.
Yeah, this goes very deep.
And this is
Especially
Jamie
with
Lee
a little
Curtis.
nod. Yeah, the
Dr.
legend.
Marjorie Frost.
She was really fun to direct.
But I feel like I interrupted you, David. I apologize.
Oh, no. I was just saying, like, yeah, we each get our own like episode to show how we deal with being apart and what our individual interests are. And this is obviously the culmination of David's obsession with this maniac self-help guru, Marjorie
Matt
Frost.
Thompson really wanted a Scooby-Doo style chase.
Right.
With music. And we got close to that in the trap sequence in the episode we just watched, where they're going through the abandoned factory.
Rubbing his nipples.
They get trapped. Sorry, you want to talk about the nipple rubbing? I apologize.
No, I interrupted. I just think it's so silly.
Background.
Sorry.
No, it's boring.
Scooby-Doo chase. Yeah, because what we were going to do is we were going to split up, and then at the end of the second episode, we were going to literally collide again, right? Isn't that what it was going to be?
Going to have their own individual Scooby-Doo chases and then run into each other.
David with the Antifa kids was going to be running, chasing some like neo-Nazi or something. It's like no subtlety. It's better this way.
I think you were chasing Loafer Toe Knuckle, and
Right.
I and the kids from the TikTok hype house.
Oh, there's going to be a hype house,
chasing,
a haunted hype house. I forgot about
it was
that
a haunted hype house, and I and other kids were chasing a guy in a mask who turned out to be Loafer's brother or sister. Or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah. The reasoning behind the Jordan Peterson guru being a female character. We just needed more female bad guys this season. I think in season 1, most of our bad guys were men, and it just felt like we should mix it up. And I also think for David's character, obviously, it's like the subtext of his mommy stuff. You know, he probably has more mommy issues than daddy issues, so he would probably be drawn to that type of strong authority figure if it was a woman.
Marjorie Frost is there's definitely a Jordan Peterson element there, but I don't think we ever want to do a 1-to-1.
Right, and it's also Dr. Laura Schlesinger. I used to spend hours listening to Dr. Laura Schlesinger.
About that.
Yeah, she was a precursor to that kind of tough love stuff. She used to have she was a real right-wing Christian maniac who had a call-in show that you could listen to back in the glory days of radio call-in shows, and she would just tell everybody to get over themselves and stop being a whiny crybaby. And anyway, this is Paul F. Tompkins coming back as
we just saw Griffin Newman return as Lance. We'll see more of him in the next episode.
Yeah.
But here's Paul F. Tompkins returning as Loafer Toe Knuckle.
This is one of my favorite sets of the season. They nailed this office. This feels like such a specific type of office. And they did a great job. And I asked them to put vultures circling around the board.
Yeah, you can't see it in this shot, but if you go straight on Loafer, you'll see vultures circling in the background.
Yeah, above this like industrial smelter where they make all their snacks.
Sitting on the BJ throne. I remember reading that line and just losing my mind laughing.
Look at all the like random papers stuck in the desk. It's just like,
I mean, Loafer physically was originally based on a little bit on Donald Trump Jr. and definitely we wanted the vibe of Donald Trump.
Fail son.
Yeah, like I think we found a Donald Trump Jr. office photo of his office.
That might be where a lot of this came from. And the kind of messy crowdedness
completely with his daddy's office in Trump Tower, which is just so full of junk and old newspapers and dusty, embarrassing trophies and stuff.
Yeah, fake magazine covers.
Yeah. This is so gross, the sound of this and everything else. But the thing that gets me is Loafer saying, "Eat one while I watch. What's it taste like? I never had one." We worked with Paul on a whole backstory about why this character was not allowed to eat these things, and he was always perversely curious about them. But
yeah, we had to cut it for time. But that's like one of those little throwaway lines that suggests so much more than.
Yeah. All right, we're listening to David Rees's incredible.
This was a song
Miss Bob's are working on the line.
I really wanted to write a Johnny Cash style song for this montage, and so once again, I just in my living room, I just recorded a demo. But I'm not a good guitar player. I kept messing up the finger picking and stuff. So Jonathan Colton again stepped up and very kindly spent 5 minutes doing it perfectly so that we could assemble it. So this is like very bare bones. This is just Jonathan recording the guitar, I think, in his home studio. And then I think eventually when I was in the booth in New York, I re-sang the song. But it was a very stripped down demo that I submitted. And Matt Thompson, the producer, was like, I think it works very stripped down. Like it should just sound like a very simple old folk song, which is kind of what I wanted. Like, it's dark as a dungeon way down in the mines, those types of songs, except he's singing about bagging up fried pork anuses. I thought that would be funny. Yeah. And this is Eric Rahill, who I think is just like the funniest dude on Instagram. And he's like one of I think he's like 30 years younger than me. And he's just one of those people who just has a comic sensibility that just never seen before. But if you know his videos and how specific his comic sensibility is, like someone like Will Ferrell is just like, I don't know what it is, but it makes me laugh. So I reached out to him directly to ask him if he would just do this really bit part of being
Rahill. He's really funny, and boy, did he come through with the pterodactyl squeals.
Yeah.
Like he covered so many different pitches of pterodactyl squeals for these scenes where it's lots of different people.
Yeah. And in the
Squeal.
background, the assistant is Natalie, our writer's assistant, making her voice acting debut.
Wow.
Family affair. So this is where things are starting to get a little trippy for David because he's eaten nothing but protein for so long.
Yeah, take a look at his skin color.
And
like,
Floyd County tweaked us. That made us have a little bit of a pallor on his skin. And then this is Jamie Lee Curtis, the legend, holding forth. I remember it took her a while. So I remember how she got stuck up on pterodactyl or pterodactology. We had to
It's a
go over
hard
that
word
stuff.
to say.
It's such a weird
Pterodactology.
word to say, pterodactology. She was a good sport, though. She was like one of those people who sometimes you work with famous people and they're really surprised. You're like, I'll do it again. Like, do you have everything you need? I can do it for another hour. Like, it was like that with Weird Al at some point where he had been singing this song for like 1 hour. And he was like, do you need anything else? And we were like, no, I think I'm good. And he's like, I'm sorry. I just love being in a recording studio. Like, I'll do this all day. People like that are so fun to work with. It's really cool. They don't have to be that generous, but they are. It's really nice.
Here comes a shout out to the Charlotte skyline.
This is another Election Profit Makers.
Election Profit Makers reference.
My co-host John Kimball is obsessed with the Charlotte skyline, so I wanted to send him a little secret message about the Charlotte skyline because she keeps calling it Charleston, even though they're in Charlotte. And here's where everything starts to fall apart for old Davy. And this type of thing, I've never been scammed like this, but I mean, it obviously happens. And this idea of her, I think this gets to something deep-seated in me that I made it a professor because I always wished I could have been a professor. I just think I didn't have what it takes. So for him to become a vice tenured professor of pterodactology, that's kind of like me, David Rees. I would totally fall for that. I would be completely suckered by some fake academic degree, like that's the thing I wish I had pursued. And I flatter myself that I could have done it, even though I probably couldn't have. So this is kind of like personal for me.
You would definitely walk around with a mortarboard.
Oh, absolutely. My little sash, like I would be totally where to Natalie's character is like, actually you have to pay more money. And this is finally when I think he realizes what happened. He had put all his
for a ride.
Yeah. He thought he was going to grow up and all he was going to do is get his bank account drained. A tale as old as time,
Well, I never noticed. I don't know how I missed the weird blurring action that Floyd County put.
Oh yeah, I think that's very cool. I think it's one of the few times they use it in the season. Maybe the only time.
And here we learn, well, first David wakes up in the parking lot, which is a frankly terrifying idea. Like, who left him there? That's so sad. Yeah.
Natalie's character dragged him out and left him to die. Like all the banners are torn down. They've moved on. Now he's getting bummed out.
You can tell because you can hear that bum out sax playing in the background.
Yeah, classic bum out sax. A little wince, poor guy.
He threw it right out the way. It flew right out his window.
Yeah. And he's now living in John's old bedroom, which I guess becomes more clear in a moment.
This is where we learn who his roommate really is. It's John's dad.
John's dad.
In secret at John's old childhood home.
Right.
He knows it's the one place John won't ever go.
Exactly. It's a perfect hiding place, right?
David, you're crying. I remember being in the room when you were doing that crying, and it was.
Well, yeah, it was like 2 years into COVID. A lot had happened. I definitely could access a lot of pain and frustration there with my dramatic moment of crying into the pillow and stuff.
Thanks everybody who's been hanging in there. We're now in the home stretch. This is episode 9. We are watching. Oh, we're rolling right into it. I'm not seeing a commercial. Are you, David?
Oh. No, I got Sephora. Okay. Oh, wait, no, it just says presented by Sephora. Oh, are we sponsored by Sephora?
Yeah, I think we get a lot of free Sephora products now. Tell me what you're seeing.
No, I'm seeing a full-on Sephora ad.
Okay.
They must think I need more help than you when it comes to my face.
I guess
they have some kind of computer that tells you what kind of makeup to buy. Huh. They just had an interaction where a guy was on his laptop. He said, "My skin feels a little dull. Can you help with that?" And then a Sephora rep said, "I can help with that." And then he just wrote, "Thanks, ordering now." It's like, wait, what just happened so quickly? That was amazing. All right, now I'm seeing the language warning and FX for. So this is your cri de coeur. You should take the lead on talking about this one.
Where are we? Tell me what you're seeing so I can catch up.
Exterior of Mr. Hunchman talking to David.
Has he said, "Hey, roomie" yet?
He's inside now. He just crossed in front of the Tom Waits poster. He just sat down. He's talking about the pterodactyl lady. And there's a cutaway to the meat sticks because he just said his farts hurt. All right.
Starting with my famous eggnog waffles. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I can. Oh, yeah. This is when, all right, so you kind of need to freeze. You don't do it now, but if you would do us the favor of watching season 2 of Dicktown 14 more times and telling everyone else to watch it as well, you can freeze frame on John Hunchman's room and see a lot of Hunchmania in the background, including a big Borges poster and a Tom Waits poster and a poster of a guy riding a sandworm in on the planet Arrakis known as Dune, and it says, "My other car is a sandworm." Griffin Newman on his Kawasaki motorcycle. The look on his face when he learns that there's no case is so funny. Ivory Robot in the chat says that they used to make eggnog pancakes for Christmas every year. It can be done. I've never heard of it, David.
I did it once.
Does it
yeah.
work?
Yeah, I made pancakes with eggnog once over the holidays. It was really cool. It tastes good. Yeah.
I'll have to try that this year.
Yeah.
I had a social media message from someone who has been the brunch host at Ruby Tuesdays saying they really appreciated. They felt seen.
Oh, nice.
By the fact that Lance had the same job.
John's helmet was going to say "girl boss," but apparently that's been
it's a trademark of some kind.
Trademark. So I think "bad girl" was one of the. What happens when you submit it? You have to. So when you make a show, you have to submit all the business names that you've come up with. They have to be cleared by the legal department to make sure that there's no actual business there that could take offense and do legal action. And so any specific language, like even on the helmet, we wanted to say "girl boss." The lawyers have to sign off on that. And what happens is, if it's not okay, what they do is they suggest alternatives that they know are clear. And usually to save time, because we couldn't afford to go back to them again, it's like you just have to pick one of their alternatives. And I think one of their alternatives for the "girl boss" was just putting "bad girl" on the helmet. And that's actually funnier. I'm glad they gave us that suggestion.
Hey, if you're checking out, I know it's getting late out there and we've enjoyed having you with us. Thanks for hanging around. But if you're checking out, please just remember to let people know to watch Dicktown. We really
thank you.
Had a lot of fun making it. I think you can tell, and we love sharing it with people.
Appreciate that.
So we're back at Sutton's Hardware, which did make an appearance in the second episode of season 1, as well as Mr. Sutton the Hardware.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that Lance is banned from every business in town. Particularly that little red wagon kiosk. I love anything, any small business that is set in a former Photomat kiosk. They're all over the place. These little photo developing kiosks, these drive-through kiosks that now house all kinds of weird little businesses, coffee shops or like little bookstores or whatever it is.
Lance being banned for life is kind of based on something. I was banned for life from a Chapel Hill business. This legendary place called Jeff's Confectionery, which was an old school newsstand on Franklin Street that took bets on football games and sold candy and cigarettes and also had dirty magazines. And it was like a really narrow storefront on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill. And I it was like one of the great accomplishments of my life. I actually successfully stole dirty magazines from there, even though I was standing like 2 feet from the proprietor. And when I got busted and had to return all the magazines to all the different stores that I had stolen them from all around town, when we went to Jeff's Confectionery, my dad made the owner promise that he would never let me into Jeff's Confectionery again. So it's a lifetime ban. And then something really crazy happened. I don't think I ever told you this, John. So when I'm kind of taking over. Sorry.
For it.
When UNC beat Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium for Mike Krzyzewski's last home game, basketball people will know what I'm talking about. This happened last month. And obviously everyone in UNC rushed Franklin Street for the big celebration. This was like something no one thought would happen. And it was like, that's like a huge, huge rivalry. And it was just like the greatest victory. And so I went to Franklin Street with John Kimball, my podcast co-host, whose dad again is the inspiration for the character of John Hunchman's dad, Mr. Hunchman. Anyway, John and I went to Franklin Street, and then we dipped into a bar just to do a shot, to buy a shot of whiskey. And we went into the bar, and I looked around, and the bar was so narrow. I was like, and I had never noticed this bar before. I was like, this is Jeff's confectionery. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. Lifetime ban.
Lifetime ban.
But then I was like, am I banned from the business or am I banned from the space? And I figured I was banned from the business. Jeff's confectionery. Yeah.
Anyway. Jeff probably didn't even own that space. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where Lance, like, lifetime ban. I think it's so funny. It's like so evocative. Yeah. You're banned from my wagon kiosk. It's like, what did you do? Anyway.
Don't make me make you change my diapers, Daddy. That's the grossest line read from Griffin of all time.
Day daddy stuff.
He's forcing John Hunchman to be his day daddy because John doesn't have any real work for him. And weirdly enough, it ends up being a weird father-son day between this fake dad and this fake son.
Yeah. This is based on the creek in Umstead Park that we used to play in growing up, and it had crayfish in it. So that's where this whole.
Did you grow up saying crayfish or crawfish? I think I said crayfish.
We said crayfish.
We would get crayfish in Lord Anderson Park in Brookline.
Yeah, it's a good starter animal. It's good starter wildlife for kids.
What pines are these, David? What kind of pine trees are those? Would you say?
Well, these are the loblolly pines that kind of define the landscape around here. But now that I'm looking at this background, I realize I should really be surrounded by pine needles. If we get a third season, I'm really going to bust some heads about making sure we have pine needles.
Whether there's a third season or not, I think we should pool our fortune and go back in and recorrect all of the errors, like George Lucas. We should redo everything. Oh, David's frozen.
No, this is nice. This is a nice image. I like the rural, the nature stuff we get to do on the show. And the light, you can tell they've put a very subtle, like, late afternoon tint on.
Yeah, we spent the whole day together. It's coming up on 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I like that.
So yeah, we revisited earlier all of the gentlemen's clubs that appeared in season 1. We didn't want to lose those incredible backgrounds that were already designed, including all the church steeples in the background. Thank you for noting those. Some people in the chat noted the church steeples in the background of every strip club. That was a David Rees idea. Here, John Hunchman is yelling, "I hate John Hunchman," which is true.
Yeah, this was John's equivalent of me crying into my pillow. Big emotional moment. Goes kind of deep for the actor.
Unexpected font of crayfish biology wisdom. Now, David, have you ever stared down a rabid raccoon before?
No.
Even a regular non-rabid raccoon is pretty fearsome because they have no fear whatsoever of humans.
Right.
And I've faced down a rabid raccoon, and it was very disturbing.
Really? You have?
On a beach in Maine, yeah, I saw a raccoon.
Whoa.
Wandering around. He took a long look at me. It was
rabies is no joke.
That's but it was clear, like, it was in the middle of the day, and this raccoon was not good. People in the chat know that I have a continuing raccoon beef. I just remember that raccoon. A raccoon walked into our apartment in Brooklyn, New York.
What?
Yeah. We have a sliding door out to this little patio, and it slid open the screen door. Halfway came inside, looked around,
and then was like,
and just
nope.
Just said in English, "I could kill you anytime I wanted," and then walked. It was incredible. So Hunchman has figured out that Katie Festermeyer is innocent. We haven't explained how he figured it out. He's going to explain that to Katie Festermeyer in the season finale, which is about to come. But something about that raccoon triggered a memory that he remembers that he got something wrong. And it has
coming together. I want my dad. Something John Hunchman has never said. And now we're going to bring the two storylines, the two timelines are about to intersect after these two solo episodes.
Thank you for reminding me. I haven't finished the Thursday crossword, mince words, and the tomorrow's has just gone live. I got to finish it before midnight tonight so I can keep my streak going. Thank you for reminding me. I'll be doing that. I don't know why I find it so funny that Stephen Tobolowsky accidentally sets David off by saying, I think it's a simile. Boy, oh boy, what a great actor he is. And a terrific storyteller. I mean, if any fans of the Tobolowsky Files podcast are on here, this dude can spin a yarn.
I wanted to take credit for myself and say that I think I was the one who suggested that we reach out to him, and that was.
Please take credit for it. It's fantastic. I remember, I think all the times, every time we've recorded with him, I've always wanted to say to him, hey, Stephen, there's just one wild line we need. Can you just say, my voice is my passport, verify me? But then I always back off because it seems like a whole thing to do.
All right. One more season finale.
Season finale.
This is where all our ambitions paid off in terms of trying to wrap up these various season-long storylines about Operation Grow Up and their anxiety about being kind of trapped as children, and then also the mystery with Katie and trying to get to the bottom of it, and then also the long simmering relationship or history that John has with Dana Singh, the newscaster played by Angel Desai.
I think a lot of it is inspired by the fact that I'm at least at a time in my life where it's not just that my memory is worse than it used to be. It's as bad. It's bad. You know what I mean? But it's also that my life has had more phases than it's ever had before. You know, to quote TMBG, you're older than you were before, and now you're even older. And so that like whole chunks of my life that were so present in my memory have just been filed away for more recent chunks of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those friendships and meaningful relationships that you had, intense relationships you had with people, just kind of go away until they come back again, you know. Mm-hmm. And then it's a little haunting when it does. What are you looking at right now?
You covering your eyes.
Yeah, good. We're in sync.
Yeah.
David, we're in sync.
Here we go.
The big Trundle Bed Candle of 1994 finally pays off.
Yeah. This is where you apologize to me, and I kind of can't believe it. And now Mr. Huntsman's talking about Katie's mom. Maybe a little romance there. Can't be sure.
We really want to
be a little wistful and then suck a little whipped cream off his finger.
I think there was an even longer monologue where he just talks about how life is so short and
we really got Tobolowsky go to some heavy places.
You don't tell the people you care about how much you care about them till they're gone, and life is so full of so many lost chances.
The quality of his voice is so great for stuff like that. He has such a lovely voice. You know, it's like a big-hearted voice, if that makes sense. He really does a great job with his character.
This is based a little bit on my own dad making a big point of telling me where the key to his safe deposit box can be found in case he drops dead, which doesn't happen.
My parents used to do that whenever they were going to travel somewhere. They'd tell me what file folder all the information was in.
It's also the first mention of the gurgling cod picture, which is a weird. There you see a picture of it in the title card there. It's a weird picture. I think it's like a New England thing.
That was your idea to put that.
It's something you find in waspy homes in New England.
Right.
And when you pour out of it and tilt it back up again, it goes goop, 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 goop.
That's early technology.
A lot of people are forming a fan club for the movie Sneakers in the chat right now because that's the line.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Verify me.
There goes the raccoon.
Yeah. So what Hunchman has put together is that the raccoon wasn't there when he found the trophy, which means the raccoon, the trophy, the locker had to have been opened before he opened it, because Katie would never have let her raccoon run away. Right. So someone else had gone in there and dumped it in there, not her.
Right.
I think it ended up. We worked hard to make it as not too clunky a mystery as possible.
I
and
think
it came
I
out
think
pretty
you
good.
cracked that. I think you did that. You did a good
but
job.
I think we both did a good job. There's David pouring some lemonade from that gurgling cod.
I also like that Katie doesn't really.
My mom always respected you and wanted to fuck you.
Yeah,
She didn't say fudge there. She just said
that's
it.
true. That was the payoff maybe for her using fudge throughout the season. I forgot about that.
Bye, Amy Sedaris. We love you.
I love that she just doesn't care about what the actual mystery was. Like, who cares? I'm out.
As long as she was exonerated, she
Yeah,
didn't care.
yeah. Tucker finally using that harp.
Yeah, that harp had been in the background this whole time. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that
Chekhov,
was part of it.
He had to play it eventually.
Yeah. Also, his stereo system is so sick. I wish I had that stereo with like the preamp with the real tubes.
That's based on a real absinthe fountain, a real crazy absinthe fountain we found online. So this is obviously a meld of the Bat Cave or the Bat HQ from the Dark Knight and the hypersleep pods from the movie Alien. I like
bathrobes from
the bathrobes are just
hotel. I kind of like actually David's bathrobe. I wouldn't mind having like a nice green bathrobe. That's
I'm gonna make a note of that.
That's kind of a cool color for a bathrobe. Yeah, that's true.
What if I got you a perfect replica?
All right.
I love these drug tablets with a question mark on them.
Yeah.
And boy,
this is another great bit of needle drop music. This music gets me so amped. It sounds like Airsat's Tame Impala. I think it's perfect for this whole sequence. They did a great job with it. And the way they cut everyone's screaming, that's really cool.
Yeah, they really animated the fudge out of this sequence.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really satisfying at the end of this season.
Someone online asked me if I'd ever had a experience with a sensory deprivation tank, and I never have. Have you ever done that, David? I mean, this is all fictional. There is no way to enter another person's mind using absinthe, psychedelic drugs, and sensory deprivation. But I don't think that I had seen Squid Game when we suggested that the grand hallway of the memory of the Mind Palace be the
Escher thing. Yeah.
But I mean, it's
pre-K.
So here they're searching for the little black door that is hiding the repressed memory.
Yeah.
The final answer to what actually happened. He knows that Katie Festermeyer didn't do what he accused her of doing. She didn't steal the Golden Lungs trophy, but there's some clue that he missed that he's hiding from himself that would reveal
all of repressed memories. Yeah. I think me turning into a shark was kind of a last minute thing too.
I feel like that was established pretty early on.
Oh, really?
Of these humiliating sequences in John Huntsman's memory, only my going to a middle school dance in a David Byrne big white suit is true. That is absolutely true. And
wait, what?
Yeah.
You did that for real?
Of course I did. You weren't there, dude. I must have been 13 years old.
Is that true? Like one of those big boxy suits like he wears in Stop Making Sense?
Big white suit, my dad's big white suit. My dad was much bigger than me. And I wore it.
Bro.
People understood what I was going for.
Was it a costume party?
No, it was just a 8th grade dance or something.
Wow. I mean, I looked stupid back then too, but man, I thought that was just like, I didn't realize that was real, that you actually did that.
You want to pants me now?
I mean, maybe via text later. That's really incredible. Wow. And did people think you were cool, or did they laugh at you?
I think that I was so
It was on brand for you.
I just think I was so oddball that people just chose not to see me a lot of the time.
All right. That's great. I admire that. You really did that. I didn't realize that. That's cool.
So Taggy has found the memory of Gizmo the robot. Let's bring him in for this whole sequence. He can watch too. You can watch, right, Gizmo? Yeah, you should watch along, buddy.
Representation matters. Here they find
And this
the
is
door.
Heather, who is as good a detective, if not better than Hunchman, figuring out that you need to surrender to the irrationality of the dream logic in order to get the answer you want. So she talks to the computer, and the computer shows them what they want to see, which is this little black door.
Now we get a very cool sequence of John inside the camera, watching himself as a young person.
Yeah, Matt Thompson gave us an early challenge, which is like, let's give us some interesting stuff to animate.
Right.
Don't just have it be two guys talking at the beginning.
Right.
And I think he ended up really regretting that direction.
Yeah.
Because we did some cuckoo stuff that cost a lot more money than it should.
Yeah.
And of course, what Hunchman sees finally is, and what he saw then, you can see him freaking out. Is a raccoon paw print on Dana Singh's boob. Look at Gizmo moving around here. You see yourself moving around?
Wow. Yeah, I love that.
That's a direct result of miscommunication between me and Todd Redner, the animation director. Because at one point in as we were getting close to the end of the season, I said, "What is the note that we give you that is the most annoying?" And Todd Redner was like, "John, when you ask us to have the robot move, it's just too much for us to do. It's too difficult." And so the next round of notes I had on this scene, as a joke, I just said, every time I saw the robot, I was like, can the robot move more? Can the robot wave its hands around and go in circles, as a joke? And poor Todd Redner had no choice but to take me seriously. And he's like, I'll do the best I can. I'm like, no, Todd, it was a joke. He's like, no, I like it now. And he moved it around.
It's funny.
I really had to learn, like, when you're giving notes on a project, no jokes. You just got to be straight. I'm sorry that I did that. This is my public apology to Todd. And I apologize to him at the time anyway.
So now I met John and Dana.
Yeah.
She realizes the consequences of her little scheme back then.
Katie got expelled. She didn't realize it, but it's Hunchman and Dana Singh inadvertently teamed up to ruin Katie's life.
Yeah.
Because Dana Singh stole the trophy in order to have Hunchman find it on camera.
Right.
And Hunchman understood that something was wrong. He
But
saw the paw print, knew that the answer was not Katie, but because he was on TV, he fudged it, and then shoved the memory down and pretended that it didn't matter, and it never happened.
Right. And that's how we wrap up Project Grow Up. Oh, we grew out of it. We have no time to talk about that anymore. We got to keep it moving. And then what's this? Budding romance? Nope. Mr. Hunchman with the bombshell. This was John's idea. This was good to have the freeze frame as a callback to the opening of the season.
But Mr. Hunchman lives outside of.
Right. Yeah.
Lives outside of the world logic.
Yeah.
Comes out of the freeze frame. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's not. Who knows what will happen?
There you go.
Well, thank you, everybody. That's the whole season. We did it. Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody in the chat on all of the platforms. I'm going to close this tab now. Before we sign off, I have to go and finish the crossword puzzle. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, I'm back on my worst drug, the crossword puzzle streak.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and thank you, John, for setting all this technology up. I appreciate it.
It's been very exciting for me to interact with yet a new form of procrastinating and not doing actual work. And I want you to know that I will be on this Twitch stream in the future. Maybe my friend 2XL and I will come back for some more fun japes and escapades. And you know that I'm definitely going to be live streaming some of my SimCity games.
Oh, right. I forgot about your SimCity thing.
SimCity 2013, and that's going to be coming back.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Tell your friends. Hopefully we'll get to make a third season if enough people watch it. But we appreciate you hanging out tonight.
People are out there saying, can't wait for the third season. Boy, we sure would like to make one. I'm sure that there are a lot of things to take into account, but one of the things may be people watching it. So
Yep.
if you don't mind, if you enjoyed it and you want to support it, just say bit.ly/Dicktown a few times on your social media, or tell a friend, or tell someone that you might like it. Remember, it is rated MA for mature. So if you know someone who doesn't like incredibly sexual situations, like a nude David Rees and a pterodactyl, maybe
Right.
don't do it. And as far as anything else, I hope you'll hang around. Please listen to Election Profit Makers. Comes out every week. What day of the week does it come out typically, David? Election Profit Makers?
Tuesday mornings.
Tuesday mornings. Hear
What about
more
Judge John Hodgman? Wednesdays?
Wednesday evenings. Judge
Tuesday,
John
Wednesday.
Hodgman every Wednesday evening. And Election Profit Makers, it's just, if you love, particularly if you love the North Carolina content of our show, David talking to his childhood friend in North Carolina, John Kimball, about fish weirs and every topic under the sun, including
Right.
how to make money betting on political events on predicted.org. Please check it out. And
Thanks,
that's
John.
it. Anything else you want to say, David, before we take it out?
No, I'm good. That was really fun. I'm glad we did that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
I'm going to end the broadcast now.
Bye
at
to XL.
When the, bye. Here, we'll just, well, there we go. Bye.